Meanwhile, behind the facade of this innocent-looking bookstore,
superstition, fear, and jealousy.
Look, I know the supernatural is something that isn't supposed to happen, but it does happen.
Who is this irresistible creature who has an insatiable love for the dead?
While you were here.
Dance with me.
While you were here. Nobody died!
Yay!
Yay!
Got close.
Got close, very close. Yeah.
I have this hole in my heart. Me? I mean,
I'm incapacitated, so
Same
but I've
here.
but I'm aggravated incapacitated, so so I can speak? Nice.
He just can't move it.
Were there other vehicles at the place?
We
Okay.
didn't end up slashing the tires, did we?
No. Okay, because like I'm also I also want to get my Liam and Eleanor to medical attention because Eleanor got messed up pretty bad. And so I may, if there is access to another vehicle, I do have a point in drive, so I may like. Oh, okay, okay.
Right.
Well, because
yep.
yeah. Well, it's more of like, I know that we're probably gonna go and, like, immediately deal with the werewolves, but I just don't know. I don't know how much. Okay.
Now there's Ben. Yeah, Ben's in cap too. Not from Ag, no, from Lethal.
Mhm.
I I did, I only have, like, 4 blood left. That was
Oh.
yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if I
Okay.
wanna put Liam and Eleanor in the same car with anybody. Well, but what about, when I asked about extra vehicles, I was asking about the people who showed up, like the people
Anarinas.
we just dispatched.
Sabbat.
Yeah, did they have cars? Uh, okay. I'll put Liam and Eleanor in the same car with, uh, with Colin. Yeah, and then I'll try to drive the.
Like, to the bed?
put the mortals in the trunk. If they are in the trunk, I will not feed on them.
That's not gonna look bad at all. Driving up to the hospital and opening the trunk.
Okay. Uh, I'll do even, but whatever car Eleanor and Liam are in, I'm also in. Yeah. Yes. Mhm. Okay.
So, um, I have a logistical question. Can you use your herd on behalf of other vampires?
It's your best.
Okay. I'm gonna, as we're driving away, I'm going to text my herd and have them meet us. Basically, I'll say, "Go here," and send them the address for the other house that we're heading to, where the wolves apparently are. Taking a chance that this is an okay situation. I mean, whether or not it's okay, we're still gonna need to feed on them, so
Do you want to do
basically
that? Oh, well.
ordering for delivery. I thought we might, swing by the hospital and drop off the people and, maybe, Remus, if he wants to stay with them, and then see that they're safely checked in.
Mhm. What's the Brave Mobile?
I don't know if I can drive. I'm not incapacitated because you said I got healed, right? Um, do you know what I got healed up to with the blood that I was given? So so crippled? Okay, I just wanna make sure. 'Cause I've got 5 blood left. Okay.
Okay,
So I'm able to drive if possible, if they
I'm
need
gonna
me to.
do
So do I need to roll something for drive or Oh, that's true, huh?
okay,
Yeah, that's gonna put me -5. I'm not driving, guys.
I'm down to injured. I could take a separate I could drive one and Colin could drive the other if we need to.
Yeah, that'll work.
Okay. Yes,
Sophie, um, Eleanor's hurt really bad. Would it be all right if we detoured to the hospital?
yeah, we don't want obviously, we don't want them to die. I think we could probably afford a detour. Um, let me just check real quick, and I'll call Jill.
Calling Jill.
Please? Yes. Sorry. Sorry, that was a half and half. I'm gonna call Jill. Ca can I try, Susan instead? I'll call Susan. Okay, I'll hang up. Back to the other line. Nobody's answering over there, so I don't know what to expect, but, why don't you take the humans and come meet us as fast as you can?
Okay.
I'll have my herd head over there so that we have some blood to draw from. Hopefully, we won't need more than that.
Uh,
Fortunately. Just one.
Oh.
I say, I'll say, all right. Thank you, Sophie. Also, I don't know how they're gonna feel about you guys eating right in front of them. So maybe, yeah, I don't know. But good
Ooh.
luck. We'll try to get there. The werewolves.
Oh, we can do it down the hall or whatever, around the corner. I'm not worried.
All right. I'm a little worried, but I'll meet you there. We'll meet you there as soon as I can. Thank you.
Okay.
Uh, Looking over at Eleanor and like Liam's wounds, like because I was not present for a lot of it. Like, what did they look like? They were like what does their damage look like? It's like slashes. Yeah, she was the one who got hurt the most. Okay.
Maybe it was a hunting accident.
At
Yeah,
night.
I was thinking like we were out camping. We were we were just out camping, and then a bear attacked and it got nuts and uh yeah, too many people firing at one time and people got winged.
Are the slashes consistent with what a bear claw would look like? Okay, so you need to figure out another animal.
I mean, I'll just say I don't it was so dark we didn't see what attacked us, but we're rushing in here, please help. And I've got a good manipulation.
Uh,
I mean,
It
either they're gonna
convincing.
either they believe us and they help, or they don't believe us and they help. Like,
So call
yeah,
the police if they don't believe you.
they're gonna report it.
Be convincing.
Roll your
okay,
charisma.
We don't have any contacts in the medical, do we?
yeah. I've got presence and dominate and okay.
Presence.
Yeah, I'll say just yeah. I'll have a conversation and you just concentrate on getting us there. Thank you. All
So
right.
you want us to duck down and hide while
You guys are in my car.
They get dropped. Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah, I think I've got you 3.
Okay, so question then, is there a way that we can maybe just consolidate cars and just have them 2 show up? Or the
The
people that they're
humans?
taking to the humans to the hospital? Like, we don't need everybody being in both, right? Just the minimal in one?
I think that's what we're doing.
Well, that's what I was asking in character, like, I thought we were still on speaker. So
Oh.
that's like, like, should we rearrange seating before one of those cars arrives at the hospital, so there's not a whole bunch of us showing up looking like we are?
Um, I think it's just, Remus, Colin, and the humans that are in the
Is
truck.
it?
And possibly where did we put Hate's body?
Kate's body's in the trunk.
Okay, so at least if it's not in the bed of the truck, then we're okay.
Okay.
'Cause that would've been really bad.
Oh no, I figured we'd put it in the trunk. We don't want him to like, yeah, just get
Okay,
up and leave.
good. Okay, so then
Okay, I just wanted to make
yeah,
sure.
just Remus, and then the rest of us are
Okay.
you're all with me in the car with no windshield. Whose car was this? Remus's car? Oh, it was the new hmm. 'Kay.
I got some splaining to do when I get back to work.
Mhm.
I think they'll probably understand.
This wasn't
Hazards of the
sure,
job.
right? Yeah.
'Kay, so we'll head to the other place. Drive index. Ooh, ooh, don't mind
Celerita.
if I do. Okay, we'll just leave that. Woo! And I dropped one on the floor. Uh, okay, that 4 successes. Where's my die? Here it is.
Well, good.
Like the other way? So it's possible they're not headed to the cabin. Okay. Well, they got bigger fish to fry, I guess.
What's driving past?
Police cars,
Cars.
Oh.
lights flashing.
And they're going the opposite direction, correct? Yeah, the cabin blew up, so they're going to see what's going on.
Well, we don't have time to worry about that right now. Make sure I counted right. Mm, okay. 3. Yeah, I'm gonna try and find an alternate route. I'll slow down a little. I could probably talk us out of whatever, but, I don't look so great right now. Left. I'm gonna get Doug on the phone while I drive around. I'll continue going for now. Kind of, mostly, but, I'm trying to get to that other location, and, there's a lot of roads blocked off. I don't know if that's something you can find out about, maybe, like, some route that's clear? Oh, that's weird, I guess. Where was the shootout? My question being, to the point of, um, is it in the area where we're driving or Oh, oh, okay, okay. Um, okay, so with that knowledge, um, I'm gonna try and find a route around it. Uh, you mean like those guys that we saw attacking Ben? Um, see if you can find out what happened and, like, maybe poke around, maybe see if they got away? We have other things to worry about. Oh, okay. You can't? Hmm. All right. Well, keep your eyes peeled, and we got other things to worry about right now. Thanks, Doug. So that's fun.
What happened?
Ugh.
I would have put him on speaker because I'm driving.
Oh, okay.
So
Well,
you can assume that you heard all that.
that could actually be a kind of a good cover story for the humans. They could have got caught in the crossfire
Could be. Yeah, actually,
as a victim.
that's not a bad idea. Do you
Even
want
though they're
to?
slashed up, I mean, they're gonna. Who knows what they had with them? It's chaos and all that, but they could have been a victim, and we found them and rushed them to the hospital.
You want to call Remus and let him know, just in case he wants to use that?
Yeah, I'll call Remus,
I'll keep driving.
and you'll be on speaker.
Okay. I'll answer the phone.
Hey, Remus. So think I've got a good cover story for you for the humans there. Apparently there was a shootout with those same Hamilton dressed guys before. They're, I guess, attributing it to a gang activity. So thinking maybe those humans that got shut up could be victims or casualties from that shootout. Because you saw those cop cars going by, or where there was a bunch that were going there, we think.
Um, okay. Do we think the gunshot or the slash is going to be like the thing that they're going to like weirdly fixate on? I guess.
I mean, the gunshot, I think, and who knows where the slash could have come from. I mean, could have been maybe a dog attacked them as part of that whole deal. I mean, who knows? I mean, I think they'll believe it as a casualty, as a bystander getting shot or attacked as a result of the activity. I think that's more believable than being camping up out in the mountains and having something attack and we don't know what. Because this literally just happened, and you're literally just now going to the hospital, and this could be just good timing on that.
We do. I mean, I suppose if we mentioned the camping bit, then they might pin that
Attribute it.
fire on us.
Mhm. Another reason.
I'm also well. I mean, there's also the worry that they'll want to come in and start asking us questions like, "Oh, you were near the area where the shooting was. Give us more details."
It's late at night. They were out taking a walk. I mean, who knows? I mean, really, they're a victim of a gang shootout. They just happened to be walking in the area and then everything happened. It was just all at once. A flurry of things.
I mean, that's kind of the same
It's a
like
little
thing.
foggy.
Yeah, I mean, that's
You know what
kind
I
of what
mean?
we're going with no matter what. But thank you for the. I guess that would be that'll be easier to explain the gunshot.
I don't think they'll care about the slashing. The slashing could have been from anything in that area too.
Um,
They could
okay,
literally say, "I don't know how I got the slashing. I just remember getting shot, and then here I am."
okay. Uh, yeah, thank you for the heads up. I'm gonna brief everybody. Like I've got it on speaker, but I'll probably have to poke my head out and talk to Liam and Eleanor because they're still in the bed of the truck, right?
Do
Okay.
we know where the cul-de-sac was, like the area? Because they're gonna need to know that. Like,
Yeah,
Mhm.
Doug.
okay,
Doug told us what area it was.
okay, okay. So then, yeah, I'll give you the area of where it was at, so they can
Mm.
come up with some reason as to why they were there. They were walking around, and then everybody showed up.
I'm looking for a new house, and I heard this area was under development, and came by and ended up getting shot.
I mean, only if they ask why they were there. Honestly, is to provide as little information as possible or volunteer as little information as possible.
Yeah, I'm just
Yeah.
shoring up the details so that way I'm not like looking backwards and forwards trying to come up with something.
Well, I could have just
Uh,
been visiting someone. I don't know. There'll be a good reason. They won't focus on it. They'll be thinking that, oh, there's a victim here from the shootout.
Okay. All right. I guess we'll see how this goes. Thank you.
Yep.
As we're driving, I'm gonna say, I'm gonna remind that I'm like, Sophie, you tried to call Susan and Jill, but they were going to check on Robert to see how he is doing and to help him out.
Oh yeah, I
Nobody
forgot about him.
answered.
So
I got a text that said the wolves are here, and that's all I know.
was there anyone else with him that we can call? I would like to know how Robert is doing or if they're okay.
Oh, right. Let me call um the other one, the human. Oh my gosh, I can never keep them straight.
Stephanie.
Stephanie, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. Yes. Okay. Her. The ex.
Tamara's child.
Yeah,
Marine.
who is probably Kate if I don't know. I don't know how to find out, you know.
Don't we have a Tremere now? We have a Tremere now.
Oh, hey. Okay. Food for thought.
Except she's not here tonight.
I need a DNA test, Shelly. Or Lily.
It's Vampire Maury.
I
Right.
You.
like your
Oh,
kindred
God.
Maury.
Ancestry.com right there. So
Yeah, so I'll go ahead and call Stephanie. I don't like this. I don't think we can do much from a moving vehicle, though.
would your was this is this Doug? Would he know? Was they have called him?
Probably not. I don't know. Maybe he can check the area though, if there are cameras or anything. Hmm.
I'm guessing not me too, because I'm in a different spot, right? Okay.
So
Okay. We split
an
the party.
incapacitated. At crippled, I have
Oh,
-5 dice. So
4.
incapacitated, am I able to roll anything, or then I'm gonna roll my 1 die.
And one roll to die.
It could help.
I got a
I got
1 on my
4.
1 die.
We ain't found shit.
It's lack of mobility. It sucks. Oh, this is nice. Could someone move my head so I'm facing the front at least? My face is in the door jamb right now. It's not so very nice.
I'll lean over and push him forward. I got 4.
I got 0 on perception
I
and
thought that was
alertness.
perception.
No.
There's another car.
Right? Flickering light.
Police.
Can I?
No.
Uh-oh.
Oh, fire.
Hey, guys, I think there's a fire up ahead.
Where?
Is it? And I point kind of in the distance.
I've had enough with fires for this evening and for this past 24 hours. I did like to go another direction, please.
Man, I feel bad for the hospital tonight. And the fire department. Yeah, so what is that up there that's on fire? Is that one of the houses? Uh-oh.
Okay. What do I roll? Oh. This does not look good, guys. Is that gunshots? Okay. Just checking.
Yeah. Gunshots. Don't go towards it. We can't handle that shit right now.
Okay. I'm gonna park on like a quiet street corner, like sort of around the corner from where the crowd is gathering. Oh, so they're not like out on the street? I wanted to grab somebody on the street. Well, they'll probably be delayed from all the police barricades.
Or
Mm,
they're in there as part of the barricade? I mean, do you think they could be in there, your people? Like, is this where we're supposed to go?
Oh, my herd? Oh, they're
Yeah.
just a bunch of drama junkies. I don't think they would be in there.
So who are we supposed to be meeting over here then?
Susan and Jill and
Yeah.
the werewolves and Robert.
Okay, so have we okay. Um
Why
do I still
all of us?
Another one.
I was gonna scry as well. I was gonna try to find my water bottle and
Chose a different
my
die.
bowl.
Another-
2.
I also got a 1, so I'm in on Reed's boat.
I got 3.
Damaris kind of just pushes a head over occasionally.
Henry and Ben are looking at each other like this. I don't see anything.
Neither do I.
This is quite stupid.
I agree.
Somebody was thrown into
The
the air.
heck happened to that car?
What are you looking at? My buddy again, please.
She pushes his head over again. just sort of absentmindedly feels around his nose and just kind of pushes him over, like one of those.
Uh,
Um,
maybe the same way that someone was raising hate in the air. They were raising someone else and dropped them on the car.
Or threw them out of something.
I can go check. Um,
I'm not doing much, so
if somebody can guard me. I don't wanna do this
Um,
unattended.
why
Or
don't
do
you
you
let
wanna
me?
try?
Why don't you let me scry real quick?
Okay,
And that's probably safer right now.
okay.
Um, so she'll pull out her collapsible bowl and the water bottle that she had and do her business. Yes, this is the last bit of it. Yeah.
it's very convenient.
Yes, I got this for Christmas. Okay, it's a lot of eights. One, two, three, four, four. I'm basically going to the house and looking to see who's in it and really what's going on, like who's involved. Mhm. Mhm. I flinch a little like, "Oh, that's bright." Eh. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Uh, is it is it Robert? Uh, guys, Robert's on in there. That's the house that he was being held at. Um, he's in there. He's not going to survive long. Can I estimate, like, based on how fast the flames are going up, how much time he might have? Let's- And I do have a dot in medicine. Okay. Um, I only got a one, so it takes out the seven. I did get two tens though, so that would be four. Or is it one per? Yes, I do. Yes, so four. 'Cause based on how fast this thing's going, he's only got a few minutes, if that. Like, uh, unless someone can get in there super fast, he's not gonna make it.
Can someone please retrieve him?
Uh, how? I don't have celerity. I can get through the flames and everything, by going in corporal, but I can't take him with me. Like I can't I can't take someone in corporal with me.
I can't move. Who's got vampire speed?
I have the speed, so I can move. I am too. I cannot move at all.
I can I can try it.
Go fast enough and you'll be fine. Push through it.
Push.
Um I mean, this is the house that I scryed on before, so I
Exactly.
can tell you exactly where to go to get him.
Okay. I
Um
I will we'll see what happens. 3. I mean,
Honestly, you just
I'm not
get
gonna
out the window. Mhm.
Yeah, kidding.
He's a ghoul. He's
I'm not
resilient.
that dumb.
Give him some water,
Okay,
maybe eat.
what is that? Self-control?
Oh, jeez.
Well, I can't buff her, unfortunately.
Oh yeah, I got some of those. I'll do that. One thing I haven't spent yet. Okay. So that gives me 1 auto. So that makes 3.
Woohoo.
I'm still scrying, by the way, and I'm watching this as it happens, just so you know. Yes.
Athletics?
Robert better be worth it, Henri.
I said earlier to leave him behind, but now you have me all concerned about him.
That's not my fault.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Mhm.
I have 1 in potence. 2. Nope. 0 successes. Right.
Oh. Oh, man.
Gosh. Oh my
What's
gosh.
happening?
You can't leave him.
Can he move?
What do you see, Generalise?
Can I spend another will?
Man. Damaris is like, "Oh my god, Sophie, why did you do that?" And she's just watching her like play by play,
I
not
would have
against the
nothing
wall.
doing. What am I supposed to do?
Damaris, what is
Uh,
wrong? Why are you looking like that?
1 success.
You don't look happy.
Two. Just straight fortitude. I got a 7 and a 4.
Singed. Whew, way to go.
Nice job.
Good job, Sophie. Robert, snap to it. Wake up.
He's and I'm just gonna look at him like he looks rough. And he's coughing, so I'm guessing he's got some inhalation issues. Yep. He's alive.
You will be okay.
We need
Okay.
a safe house. Right fucking now. Like the car
Um,
should be moving.
Do I see any? Like I'm still like scrying at this point. By the time they get back, do I see anything else? Yes. Oh, okay. I got two, a 10 and a 9, but doesn't explode. So two. Do I recognize the werewolves by chance? I'm not sure if I would. I haven't, even with previous fights. Oh. Where do I see them fighting? Oh, guys, the werewolves are fighting. Oh, guys, I found Stephanie and Jill in them.
Where?
And I'll give Crossroads like
Can we reach it in the
or-
car?
um I don't know if they have their phones on them. I'm guessing not since you tried to call them earlier.
I can try calling them.
They're probably too
Oh,
busy to answer the phone because it's a
if
battle
they
right
can
now.
make it out of that
Oh,
area somehow,
That we can pick them up.
yes. We'll give them like a point, like, because I can see them and I can see the area. So based on what I'm seeing, Jerome, is there a path that I can try to get Sophie to direct them around?
tell her to honk the horn.
Yeah. Okay. Let's do that. So what do I need to roll? Do I need to roll for anything or just okay?
2. Jill. I'm gonna say, Jill, we're here. We need you to get to us.
Sophie honks the
Can,
horn.
can you walk?
Honk your horn, Sophie.
I guess I'll honk the horn.
Mon Dieu, there's a beep beep. That's your come for
Don't.
the horn.
Why? No.
No?
I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you how to tell them where to go.
Okay, that's a better idea. Let's do that. Um, so I'll say if you can get to our car, we can take you away. Can you walk? Can
Follow
you run?
directions. Yes.
We got him. Don't worry about that. Just get out, and I'm gonna give her the directions. And where? He's fighting them, or he's fighting with them? Okay, get out of there. Follow my directions. We'll deal with that when you're safe.
I'll start. Mhm.
So we'll start relaying instructions.
Yeah. Wow. What's the difficulty? 6? Okay, 4 then. Okay. Oh, and I'll relay it.
Go Jill. She's come a long way. Okay, when they do that, I'm gonna once I know that they don't need us, I'm gonna try and make telepathic contact with we'll say Noah. Well, if they can just
We only have hate in the trunk.
if I'm going there
You
next.
can't really move. We can put you in the trunk. Just gotta fold you in.
See.
Um,
You can easily stack 4 bodies in a trunk. It's easy. I've done it before.
well, let's
These are
try this.
live.
Let's try this first.
Okay, 3.
So it's as long as they're like with us, then like they have some cover, right? Okay, so for the time being, I'm going to try and contact Noah. Let's see how this goes.
Benjamin, can you tell them how to steal a car? I mean, you have lots of skills.
Difficulty 6.
I mean, maybe.
2, 3. I'm just going to say we have hate. If that will stop this.
Hey, Shelly.
It's Sophie, you dingbat. We're just outside your battle zone in a car.
Why are we not moving?
Because
Why are we
the others don't fit in here.
They can fit in the trunk. Get on the roof.
Yeah. Okay. No, okay, I'm gonna cut off. So Noah wants me to bring hate. I don't know. Do you guys want to stay here?
Here, let me get up and escort you. Just
Wait,
give me
so
a keg of blood.
they want us to bring hate where? To them?
To the fight.
Yeah, I'll take him.
Okay. Let's go. Anyone who's coming. Yeah, right.
Gonna leave us behind? Is that it?
How
Can I-
far?
Can I call one of my herd people? Ah! Okay. So what does it cost
Oh.
to summon?
By the way, Jerome,
Nope, not
I'm gonna
spending blood.
pour the water from my bowl back into my water bottle to try to conserve it in case I need it later, if there's enough. Okay.
Dexterity plus bowl.
Yeah.
I mean, the car is stopped.
Okay. So just Dex? Okay. Yeah, that's true. All right. 1. Bummer. All right. All right. It was worth a shot.
Hmm.
Okay.
I've been muted this whole time.
Whoa!
Oh no.
Oh well.
Oh my gosh!
Thanks, Shelly.
Why didn't you say so sooner?
Oh, she just got here, I think.
Maybe.
Shelly!
Oops.
That's okay. We're
Um,
only down like an hour's worth of game without
Okay.
me.
A Beatles hairdo.
Okay, can
So-
we?
can we hotwire a car?
Uh, Benjamin could probably help with that. Jill could probably do that with Benjamin's help.
Let's do that because we can't all fit everybody in here. So I'm gonna look around and kind of look at because I don't think anybody's on the street.
It's a neighborhood. You guys, there are definitely a couple cars nearby.
All right. So can we hotwire a car? Can I look at Jill? Jill, are you okay enough to figure out how to hotwire a car?
Yeah, somebody can walk me through it.
Look at Ben. He can. He just can't move.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so she just kind of like props Stephanie and Susan up against the car. It's like, I'll be right back, and she unbuckles Benjamin. At this point, and they go find a car.
I mean, why not?
Okay.
So basically, just wait for them to come back
So
with a car.
So I understand. So just so I understand it, you're waiting for them to go hotwire a car before you go and
Oh.
take Hate to the werewolves.
Okay, maybe
That's probably
we should
not a good
let
idea, huh?
Let them roll up behind us when they get it going. So whoever can fit in the car will go, and whoever doesn't fit in the car, along with Benjamin, will roll up in the second car.
Okay.
Okay.
So we're gonna take Hate. Well, I am at least gonna take Hate to that fight.
Do
Okay.
you have any
Um,
presence?
I do. I have 2 dots in presence
So do I. With our powers, I mean, I have,
combined.
how much presence do I have all the
Stay
presents.
here in the car.
I just have 2, which is good enough. I think I have what awe in there somewhere.
Okay, so
You just need one.
just so I understand it correctly, you guys are waiting to take Hate to the werewolves.
We're gonna let them go hotwire their
Okay.
car, and we're gonna go
Yeah.
Okay.
Just
while they're working.
they know what they're doing. They know where they need to go.
Okay.
Away from here, basically. We're just gonna go with what we have. Are we gonna keep Ben and the others with us, or are they gonna go with Jill and them?
Ben's going with Jill so we can teach her how to hotwire.
Well,
Yeah.
but who else is going with who's?
The
I
rest-
guess
the rest of them
I
are
want to
staying-
understand. Okay.
The rest of them are staying at the vehicle. So you have 3
Whatever's
people who are.
fastest.
So you have 3 people then that can't defend themselves at the vehicle. The 2 of you are going to take Hate to the werewolves, and Benjamin and Jill are going to go hotwire a car.
Wait,
Okay.
are we walking? I thought we were gonna take the car.
No, yeah, so I think I'm confused now, like out of character. Like we were gonna basically split into 2 cars. The people that were injured and stuff were gonna go take the car with Jill and them away, while me and Sophie went to take Hate to the werewolf fight.
So
Is
then,
that not
So
right?
then I don't understand what it is you guys are trying to do, and it sounds like you're trying to take a lot of time to go to get this done. So explain to me what it is you guys are wanting to do.
We're gonna let Ben and whoever is not currently in the car.
Okay.
They're gonna go hotwire a car.
So you have 3 people that can't do anything or
The
move
rest,
really.
if they're not moving, they're just gonna stay here
Yeah,
So
they're
Stay,
gonna go with
stay here. How?
in the car,
I'm strapped in the car.
Okay.
and then we're gonna drive that car without the windshield to the fight.
So I just want to make sure that I understand this correctly, because I did ask this before and then we switched the description. You're taking people who cannot defend themselves in the car into an active fight with werewolves.
That's what I was. Okay, so I think me, Brittany, and you and I need to kind of understand. I think where we're at.
As in,
I wanted everybody who couldn't fight and do anything to leave with Jill and them, who hotwired the car.
Oh, I see.
Those that were still active and up, like myself and you, were going to take hate to the fight.
Just opens the back door
And
and
Remus,
dumps
if
on the
he's still
street.
up. Yeah,
Go, go,
I mean,
go.
sorry.
I see. Okay, that's fine. Then we'll just
Those who are able-bodied
just
should
dump
go.
them
Those
out.
who cannot need to stay
Sorry.
behind with this group.
So
that's what I was trying
then
to do.
The other
to
lady.
reiterate the
Hello,
second
hello,
half,
separate lady, are they
you're
together?
leaving defenseless people out on the curb in essence while you take the vehicle.
Well, we can't
why I'm
win either
trying-
way, so we're either going to leave people there or not. Like,
or you can, or you both don't have to go.
We have
okay,
Jill.
so
The point I'm getting
That's
at,
true.
The point I'm getting at is you're taking the only 2 active, with the exception of Jill, obviously, who is going to go hotwire vehicle. You're taking 2 people to go do the one thing.
Okay,
And
I see what you're saying now.
And ultimately, you're going to leave. You're either taking people who can't defend themselves into harm's way, or you're leaving them out in the open.
Again, we're screwed either way.
Right.
That's
so
what I feel like.
So either somebody with presence should take Hate's body, throw it over their shoulder, and go take Hate in there, or drive the vehicle, however you want to do that.
All right. So then, I mean,
I just
I
want to
don't
make
have
sure
potence,
I
so
understand.
I can't really lift him. So I'm guessing, Sophie, then you should go ahead and take Hate to them. I'll stay behind with this group. Make sure they get back to wherever it is that we're supposed to go, which I don't even know.
maybe just guard them while we do this. And if the fight breaks out, then take them wherever you can. Take them to Anzio's.
Actually, you know what? Yeah, let's just.
Let it
I'm going to tell everybody once we get in the car to load up and go to Anzio's. You have the other car with Hate, so. What else are we going to do with.
Okay. So I understand what you guys are doing then. So you're going to send Sophie on with Hate in the trunk of the car into the conflict. You're going to
Yes.
stay behind to watch the people who can't really do anything, to cover them or watch them. Wait for Jill and Benjamin to hotwire the vehicle, and then you guys are just going to go to Anzio's just to get the heck out of Dodge.
Pretty much, yes.
Okay.
Because I'm injured enough that really I'm not doing much else.
Another
good,
reason
so-
why I was trying to reiterate what was going on. Okay.
All
So-
the injured folk are leaving.
Okay. All right. That is not a bad plan. Okay. So, Benjamin, you do
Finally
not
have a not bad plan.
you do not have minuses to dice in this because it's mental related. Why don't you give me a intelligence and security check,
Okay.
just to kind of coach Jill on how to hotwire a vehicle. And
Right.
you guys ended up finding a station wagon.
Okay.
But
Fair
not one of the old ones, one of the newer ones that they don't really call station wagons anymore.
They're just called wagons.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't have security, but I have larceny. Is that right?
Yes, that's it. That's the new
Okay.
version of it.
Okay, cool. Am I going difficulty 6 or?
Yes.
Okay. Let's see. Oh, dang it. No. Okay, so technically 0 successes. I had a success, but canceled with a 1.
Okay. So you've taken one too many shots to the head at this point with everything that's gone on. And she is kind of gets into the column and whatnot, no problem. And then you're trying to coach her on it. She's just shocking the hell out of her hands, from electric current and whatnot. As you're walking her through it, you drop about 5 minutes doing that right there. I'll get to Sophie in a second. Go ahead and roll again.
Okay.
Would you like to spend a willpower point?
It's been a few before, but we really need this to happen, so I might as well.
Okay.
All right, so that and good thing I did. Total of 1 success then.
Ooh, okay. Yeah, so you clearly have you're a little battle weary at this point from everything that's going on, but you remember at this point you're like, oh no, I remember like the step that you were missing or what, and she manages to catch it at this point and starts the vehicle up. So she ties it off, as quickly as possible, tosses you, into the back. It doesn't seatbelt you or anything. She just kind of just tosses you because at this point everybody's in a hurry to get out of there. Circles back to the rest of you. You guys, reiterate what the plan is at that point. You're going to be leaving Sophie with the car and the body, and she's already driven off at this point. You guys are heading to Enzio's to get blood and try and heal.
Yes, I was going to say I was going to call ahead to Anzio's, basically just to kind of prep, say, hey, incoming, back entrance, discreet, whatever, have blood ready in our supply and whatnot.
They tell you they're going to emergency close early then or something.
Yeah, exactly. Just say, hey, like if they need to comp people on their meals and whatever, just saying due to, circumstances, whatever. So.
Yeah, no problem. So they're was it Mario? I think was the manager.
I'll find that notebook later. Something.
Hector, sorry. Hector says, "Yeah, no problem. I will. I'll do what I can. Just get here."
Yep.
Okay, so Sophie, you come driving up, and it's like, you just see like people flying back and forth or throwing each other. They're hitting. They've hit and clashed with each other so much that they're nobody has died. Thankfully, everybody is severely injured, and it's one of those things like they're so punched out and still angry at one another that they're like taking a few moments between each strike and then loading up and going for a punch or a claw or whatever. But you can see that it is Painwise, Olchek, Noah, and somebody else a little bit smaller, who you don't recognize in their werewolf form. And then let's see, 1, 2, 3. So it's an even fight. It's a 4-on-4. As they were going back. So you come pulling up. How do you plan on doing this?
So I'm gonna pull up and open the trunk, and I'm gonna stand on top of the car so that they see me. Gosh, should I use awe or should I use majesty?
Awe just makes them somewhat compliant. Majesty is what's probably going to protect you if somebody gets really angry.
Okay.
Remember, majesty is the wall of invisible presence.
Another willpower.
Majesty, worship His majesty.
I'm gonna stand on top of the car with the fire behind me, all CW like.
And what do you say?
I'm gonna say, "Stop! I have your monster."
Okay, so why don't you give me a roll for that?
Which roll?
You are attempting to influence them.
So, performance and charisma?
Yes. Just out of curiosity, what is your charisma and intimidation combined?
6. I'm not very intimidating.
Okay. You need to work on that.
You should have propped me up and I could have spoke for you.
2 successes.
Just move your mouth, as I'm holding your head up.
So they turn and everyone looks your way. Nobody making a move at this point in time, and the largest of the group, who has this jagged looking silver bladed weapon in his hand, points it at you, and he says, "Show us, worm thing."
I'm just gonna beckon, point to the trunk.
They can't come near you. Remember, you have majesty up. So you're going to have to be the one to do it.
I have to pull him out. Okay. I thought majesty was they just couldn't raise a hand against you.
Oh no, it's an approach thing. They can't get it.
That's fine.
Yeah,
I'll take it.
it's literally a wall of I am awesome sort of thing. If they want to act against you or get anywhere near you, they have to make a test.
Then I'll jump off the car and pull the crispy critter out of the trunk and just kind of drag him.
Okay, so they're
down the street.
They're keeping their distance a little bit. You can, and everybody is flinching except Painwise. Painwise is purposely getting closer to you and off to your left.
I think I can trust him. He's seen this before. So yeah, I'll drag him down the street towards everyone and then just kind of fling him the last few feet.
Okay. Give me a strength and potence check.
Do it hard. Do it with feeling.
I don't have a lot of feeling left.
You know what? Your potence will fix that for you.
Oh my gosh, I got 2 10s.
Nice.
Oh, nice. Okay.
That's 2 successes.
So it doesn't go very far, but you do fling him. You kind of toss him out there a couple feet in front of you.
It's the flare that matters.
Yeah, it's just you kind of throw it out there.
It's not worth the effort.
And
yeah.
So and one of them starts getting kind of close, and despite the fact that you are kind of like a radiant light sort of thing with your presence, because you still have majesty up. You see Painwise do one of these numbers, motion you to get back.
All right, I'll back up.
So he backs up a little bit. So one of the other werewolves kind of steps forward and starts sniffing near the corpse of Hate, and then turns and looks to the other one and says, "Jericho, it's him." And at this point, Noah slams down a sword into the ground, and he says, they kept to their word. Take this back to Persephone. And so he looks and he sneers, and everybody at this point is trying to heal up, but they've taken plenty of ag damage themselves, so they don't look much better than your 2 compatriots that were in the car. With the exception of the fact that they're standing. And so, with that, they snatch his body and they say he was supposed to be alive. Painwise barks back out at them and he says, "You have him nonetheless." They look amongst each other and they're like, "This is not done."
a moment. We request a trophy. We want a piece of him.
They kind of look amongst themselves, and Jericho kind of puffs himself up. Why don't you give me a... let's see. You got your majesty up, but you are trying to issue an order. So that's going to be manipulation and leadership. Difficulty 7.
We got this.
Don't take it. 7, 2 successes.
Okay. And he snorts, from his nostril. And he says, "Do so." And he points down at the corpse.
Oh gosh. Okay. I'm gonna ask somebody with a bladed weapon, maybe Painwise,
Mm-hmm.
or okay, if he could cut off his arm.
Okay, so then he walks up and with just one swipe just lops off the guy's left arm.
Okay. Good. I'll say now.
Satisfied worm thing.
Now stay out of our city.
They look amongst each other, and they, without even really answering you, one of them just grabs the body real quick, and they rush off, and you end up seeing them like disappear into a reflection somewhere nearby. Just.
I'm gonna sit on the floor. Just kind of like just collapse for a minute.
Okay, so I mean, at that point, they shift down, and you can see that the smaller one that was with them was Billy.
Oh,
You
and
have grown, kid.
And so he just kind of shrugs. He's still coming off the adrenaline rush, and then Painwise looks to you and he says, "You must leave."
All right.
Authorities are going to be here soon. We have an effect on the locals here. They likely will not remember us, but if you remain, they will remember you.
All right. Call me if you need anything.
So he just nods and he motions to the others. At this point, they go jogging off to go behind one of the other buildings to try and disappear as well.
I'll stick the arm in the trunk and then hightail it.
Okay. And then you guys are en route at this point to Anzio's. George, thank you for being so patient.
Yeah, no, I've just been listening this whole time, just like, oh man.
So you get to the hospital, and of course, the first thing when you guys are climbing out, and your two friends are looking really worse for the wear. Liam, of course, immediately shouting for some sort of gurney. I'm
going to carry Eleanor out of the
to put Eleanor on.
Mm-hmm.
And so two nurses come running out real quick, and so they ask, so what happened? And they start running them inside to get her into a room.
Before they even come out, I want to activate awe.
Okay.
So just so I can kind of get them already kind of warmed up to sympathy. And I'm essentially going to as they come out, I'll be like, please, you have to help us. We were in a cul-de-sac, and I'll give the general neighborhood, and just people started shooting, and please, she's really hurt.
Okay, go ahead and roll it.
Okay.
Charisma and performance, difficulty 7.
Okay.
And you spend a blood point.
Okay, I've already spent it. Charisma and performance.
Which is kind of silly. You shouldn't have to spend that for presents, but oh well.
You know, you are the guy in charge.
I am? Because I had myself on mute for like an hour.
Just
That
like
is
house rules.
So you got 3?
Mhm.
That's up to 6 people. So, oh, geez. Okay. I forgot this little tidbit. Okay, so you do that, and they are immediately compliant. And as soon as you do, you have a searing headache.
Okay.
Like it suddenly becomes a migraine to the point that you even hear Benedict in the back of your head going like, "Oh my God, what is that?" It feels like the mental equivalent of feedback.
Okay. I don't use his abilities often, so I'm not sure if this is like a normal thing.
No, it's definitely not normal.
Well, whatever. Just
So, and but they don't even notice, that. And in fact, Liam is more compliant than he normally would be. And as he sees you cringing, Colin's like, "Oh, gee, sorry, that me. I didn't know you were going to do that. Sorry."
Oh, that's you, Colin. That was the. Okay, it's good to just know my brain's not going to explode. But yeah, thank you. And I'm gonna try to like kind of help with this process of getting them medical attention, but I also want to just like, I don't want to draw. I mean, I know I've got awe on me, but like I don't want to. Yeah, and I'll answer any questions that I have to, but I also feel like I can't really stay for too terribly long.
Yeah, no, and that's not a problem. The nurses get them in there, and they're like filling the doctor in, letting them know that this was a possible shooting victim and whatnot. And when they open up Eleanor and they look at the chest wounds, they go like, "Whoa! Do you think it came from that like modified guy?" And they're just like, "Man, I don't know." And
Modified guy?
Colin has that exact same look. He's like, and he says it about the same time you do. He's like, "Modified guy?" And they're like, "Yeah, we just got some bodies in not too long ago from that fight. 2 guys looking like they stepped off like a Hollywood set or just, yeah, they had some like wicked primal modifications or something. I don't even know if they're real, but they like had bones coming off them, and they don't even really look human."
Oh, yeah, I couldn't tell you. It was so dark and it just happened so quickly. But she'll be okay.
Colin nudges you. "They're under your influence. Ask him. See if you can spot them."
It's my first day. Would you mind? Could we see this thing? We didn't get a good look.
Normally, the nurses would be like, "Heck no," but you got them under the influence of awe. So one of them stays with Eleanor, and he's like, "Yeah, just follow me real quick. We'll show you where they're at."
Thank you so much, and I'll follow just to
Okay,
bring Colin along.
so they go. They take you and Colin off. Liam stays back with Eleanor. It looks like he just got a call. The nurse takes you back into another section of the emergency room, where it looks like they haven't actually carted the guys off yet. There's no monitors on them anymore. It looks like they're dead. But these guys look like they probably could have stepped off the set of 300 as a part of Xerxes' army.
But they look, I guess, like they have like humanoid bodies, but they just have like weird like.
Yeah, like their limbs are misshapen and sharp, and like at one point one of them sharpened into a blade from bone. they're muscular, but not in a natural way.
Okay. Do they like? Am I seeing like tattoos, like ritual marks on them that would make me think like, oh, like these are werewolves, or these used to be like?
Nothing like that. Just
Or is this more sticking with kind of the weird people that we saw hate operating with the first time we
maybe,
tussled with them?
maybe
Okay.
they don't have any sort of uniform look to them, really, but maybe.
Okay. I'm
Colin
gonna.
quickly, takes a picture.
Yeah, I was gonna try to do that too. Like,
Okay.
okay, and then yeah, then I have to spend an hour doing paperwork. I'm sure because it's a hospital visit.
Yeah. So they, you're filling out some paperwork for Eleanor and whatnot. They're getting her, taken care of, and then Liam gets off the phone, and he says, "I just heard from our mutual friends." And he kind of like looks around real quick and he says, "Boss, I don't know if this is really a good place to talk about this. Can we find someplace quiet?"
Yeah, we'll find a nook or something, or go outside.
Okay. So you take a step outside, like the waiting room or something like that, like right outside where people would normally smoke, and there's nobody out there right now. And he says,
Okay.
"I just heard from Xandria that they encountered some group calling themselves the Founding Fathers."
Founding fathers.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, he said they managed to ice one of them, but the other four got away.
I don't know if I've heard of this group before, but this is George writing things down.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Sorry, just
You talked
taking.
about them in character before.
Oh, was Remus there?
I don't know if you were or not.
I don't know.
Okay.
I think he was out that night.
Yeah, he may have been.
I think it might have just been the three of us.
All right.
Dale, Shelley, and me.
Mhm.
Well, I'll tell Liam, it's like, well, do we know, like, are they kindred? Are they werewolves? Like, what do we know about these?
No,
about these
they're
groups?
from what she's telling me, they're apparently Sabbat.
Sabbat. Okay, that's not good. Just when I thought we'd finally be rid of them. Okay, so one of them's dead. Do we know where they? Do we have any information on where the dead? Well, I guess they wouldn't leave behind a body. Okay, well that's not good. But that's something we can bring up to Sophie.
Yeah, apparently Seth got pretty injured, and they are staying at some place called the Cedar House.
The Cedar House. That sounds familiar.
It should.
Okay. Do I?
Remus
Yeah.
has actually been there.
Okay. Is that? Okay. It's like good. Can I make a roll instead of like going through like my many pages of notes?
Yeah, sure.
It's like is that the place where we met with? There was that one lady who lost a child at Las Vegas, and then we met her like at a place. Was that the Cedar House or no?
No.
No. Okay.
The Cedar House is the power base for the Giovanni.
Oh, okay. We're on good terms with them, right?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Well, that's good. That's good to hear.
Yeah, apparently
Um,
they're holding up there for right now and laying low. They were just checking in to see how we did. So I guess we've got Sabat still in the city.
okay. Well, cockroaches and all that. Well, we'll deal with that. I'll make some calls. I'll see how Sophie and them are doing. Are you, Liam? Do you need medical attention?
I'll be all right, sir. It's better that I not get any here.
Okay.
They're going to ask questions about a GSW.
Okay. In that case, maybe it's best if I just leave a business card, cell phone number, and then just, I don't know. I don't think we should stay here for too long.
Yeah, I've got it, sir. I think from what I've heard, the others are heading to Anzio's.
Okay. That sounds good. Right, and I'll head back to the nurse's desk and just say like I'm gonna take him home, but please give her a business card and all the information. Be like, let me know if let me know if you need anything else, and I'll be up here like in a second if any complications happen.
Of course, absolutely. We will let you know if her condition changes.
Thank you so much, and then we'll hop into the truck and get going.
Okay. So now you guys are heading on off to Anzio's. So those of you who get to Anzio's, Sophie is last to get there. Those of you who got there first, however, when you get in, the place is mostly clear. There is one guy sitting in the sitting kind of puzzled in the front of the place, and Hector comes to you, Damaris, and he says, "I don't recognize the guy, but he was apparently just trying to stay put, so..." Looks like you're muted.
Sorry, I was on mute. Yeah. Do I recognize him? The guy that he's talking about?
You do, actually. It's Zach.
Who is it? Oh. Okay. Yeah, he's fine. Okay. So I'm basically gonna kind of usher people in to a secluded area and whatever, just and start whatever we have on supply or in back stock. I don't want to deplete all of it because we need it, but enough to get people up to sort of stable condition.
Okay. So there is enough at this point on hand for everybody to all vampires that are currently present, and including Sophie, if you when you get there, to have 3 blood points apiece, and then the supply will be exhausted.
Okay.
So I made it there already.
You're on your way, so I'll let you know when you get there. Henri.
Yeah, I mean,
when you get in there, Zach is up front, looking super puzzled and like trying to clean his hands and whatnot as he with his glass of water that he's got. He's got a plate of partially eaten pasta.
Yeah, but I can't move, and I can't. Nope. And I look horrible.
I want to heal Henri, but I don't think he's going to take my blood. I mean, if he wants that risk, I can help him.
No,
now that I've had blood
Henri
too.
has already healed all he can for aggravated damage.
Okay, so
only
giving him anything wouldn't help him?
Nope.
Okay.
The only way for him to heal more is if he gets a hold of some of that lotion that Colin has developed, which will convert his aggravated damage to lethal.
Okay. Well, Colin needs to go into mass production with that, and I will help him fund that. At this point, seriously.
But you get 3 additional points, Benjamin. You can definitely heal up your wounds.
Yeah, so I do that, and I immediately, I'm still hungry because of that, but I heal up 3 wounds worth, so I'm not as messed up.
Right. Okay. So you are mobile at this point.
Yeah.
And you definitely recall Zach.
Yeah.
Because you saw that.
So Zach's just sitting there, cleaning his hands or something? Or
Yeah.
he's in the, okay.
Yeah, he looks totally bewildered.
Please.
So
I
I
don't want Zachary to see me. Can you move me to somewhere else, to like an upstairs room or something?
The whole place is ours, guys. Just so you know, like it's locked down and secured. Like we can go wherever we need to in here. But if you prefer a back room,
Well, I just don't
she'll
want
just kind of
Zachary
direct
to
him
see me.
upstairs.
I guess you could put me in a booth with a hood over me or something.
here,
Why?
man, here. I take him. I go ahead and put him in a booth so that he's at least sitting and can see pretty much like what's happening in the restaurant.
Okay. Fair enough.
Now that that's taken care of, what in the actual fuck, as I say that at Zachary, like, who are you?
So he like looks around. You have met him before, if I recall.
Yeah, like once, yeah.
Yeah. And so he just looks at you and he's like, hey, do you know where Henri is? I went back to the house and it's like gone.
You don't
Gosh.
remember what just happened?
No. Should I?
Is Remus there? Because yeah, I'm gonna grab him.
Not
Are
yet.
you gonna launch
Okay.
another like ball of energy from your hands or
So
what?
he's like looking around. He's like, what are you talking about?
You were captured by Max Haight and taken to a cabin in the woods. You're telling me you remember none of this?
No.
Pretty sure it wasn't.
I remember woods though.
You remember woods. Let's what's the last thing you remember here?
I was doing some leather working. Henri had this book deal with a game company, and we were trying to get that like all squared away. I had this like, and he's like, with his hands, talking. When he's like, I had this like really cool, like beta work of the cover to make it look. It was like black leather, and
yeah, great.
And then and then I was out in the woods running for some reason. And so I got back into town and like the place is all police taped and burned to the ground, and I don't know where Robert's at, and I just know that he occasionally comes here, and I thought maybe I might run into him.
Well, weird shit happened, and apparently someone fucked with your mind the whole time, too. That's great.
What? And he's like looking down at me. He's like, is that why I'm like dirty?
Yeah, we even fought you. You had superpowers and the whole thing. You remember none of that?
I'm an X-Man?
I don't know. Apparently they did something to you.
What the hell happened to my clothes? Like, why does it look like somebody went Weapon X on me?
Maria's gonna yell, "You got held hostage and a little burnt. Sorry." And then she just keeps.
Yeah, he's
feeding
just
blood
like.
people.
You were captured at Henri's. Henri's house was firebombed. We saved him. Well, he was saved. And then you were taken to a cabin in the woods. Max Haight talked to you. Some Sabat got to you. Did something to you to turn you into a friggin' video game character with powers. You were on their side fighting.
What?
You never heard of that before?
No, is that like a church thing? God, was
He-
I
he
at
may
a
not
church
really-
camp?
No, he
Because I'm
may not
atheist.
understand that, guys. Ben.
1 second.
And who the hell is Max Haight?
I go over to
What?
I go over to Henri.
Well, before you come over, I'm gonna do my best attempt at an American accent to call Ben over. So, so what is that gonna be like?
It's going to be charisma and performance.
And I want to
No,
hear it
I
too,
don't
just
die.
so you know.
No,
You should
I
hear
don't.
You were practicing your
don't.
Canadian accent, weren't
You
you?
you will
Eh?
always
Doing
have
your
one
Justin
die.
Trudeau face?
Yeah, I'm not gonna do it. Because
Okay.
it's like, if I mess it up, I'm gonna
Man,
come
I want
out.
to hear it. I want to hear it.
Poor Henri winds up sounding like Foghorn Leghorn.
Here, I'll do it. What do I got?
I say
I got
Ben.
a 10!
I say Ben.
I got a 10!
Nice.
And that is exactly what I do. Hey, Ben, can I speak to you for a minute, please?
For fuck's sake. I walk over.
Okay.
Henri, for the love of everything holy and not holy at this point, you don't tell him anything?
It's very confusing. He's just a normal person. He's the only drawback he had is he's a stoner. I mean, that's the only thing that he is that's negative.
Sophie gets here at this
It's not a
point.
drawback.
So I mean, if you think that Damaris can see with her scrying ability to see other places, and Sophie can see people's minds. Do you think together that maybe is that they can look into his mind to see what he remembers? I don't know. It's just.
Hey, Damaris, can you look into people's minds? You're muted again.
No, I can't. Though I remember one time Sophie was able to kind of get into my mind while I was scrying and see what I was seeing, but not the other way around.
Yeah, we're gonna have to have her rummage through your ghoul's head, and next time let your
My
ghouls
ghoul's
in
head?
on a little. Not you. I'm talking to Henri, and I turn over to Henri. Henri,
He's not a
you
ghoul.
gotta let people know.
He's just a man. He is not a ghoul.
What's a ghoul?
He's a regular human, he
Yes,
said.
He knows nothing about the supernatural world. I've kept him very much on the how does Robert say?
Oh, boy.
Sit down low. He does not know about all this.
Henri,
Okay.
is that you?
Oh,
Shit, Lord, Martin.
so you need to either eat him, embrace him, or one of those two.
Just ghoul him.
Or ghoul him. There you go, 3.
Or we could just let him go.
No,
Nothing bad has happened to him. He's fine, and he has no idea what's going on. Do you want him to stay in this life, or let him go?
Let him go.
So Sophie, you come walking in with the arm.
No, I'm gonna leave the arm in the car.
Okay.
Thank
Drape
you.
over your shoulder.
Zachary's gonna be like, "What the fuck?"
No, the arm is staying in the car for now.
Okay.
I'm gonna wrap that up all nice and give it to Henri.
Okay.
I mean, not really. I'm probably just gonna. Never mind. We'll figure that out later. Okay. I'm still worried about my herd, so I'm
And
gonna.
Remus, you get there.
Okay.
Are Stephanie and Susan and Jill and everything with us too?
Yes, they're here now.
Yeah.
I think
God.
if I see Zachary, I'm marching towards him. I'm like, what is he doing here?
He doesn't.
So he's just
It's
like,
a mind thing. He has no idea what's going on.
dude, do I need to wash? I mean, I've been trying to wash my hands.
I didn't
Tell you what.
actually.
Tell you what. You know what? Go to the bathroom for a bit and wash. The rest of us have to discuss something there, pal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Henri, the house burnt down.
He
Get my
knows.
fucking body. Of course, I know that house burned down.
He can't see. You got the hoodie on.
Maybe I don't remember. I just say that. I'm like, shit. Yes, I know this. Thank you, Zachary. Go clean up. Go wash up.
Sure thing, boss. Where's Robert?
We don't know. Well, we do know. Sophie, is Robert okay?
I thought he was with you.
Oh,
Yeah,
shit.
Robert is off like someplace at this point, just trying to recover. He's in there.
No,
but
we brought him in. That's right. We brought him in.
Yeah.
Robert is here somewhere. I don't even know. So,
Oh, okay. I guess I'm gonna go use the head. I'll be back in a few. He just looks confused and kind of walks off to go to the men's room.
Wasn't that your other guy?
Yeah,
That's
and I
not
turn to
really-
Sophie.
What is he doing here? I thought he
Okay,
got- I thought he went with the other guys.
so apparently they did something to his mind, and he has no memory of even being abducted from Henri's place. He just remembers working and then suddenly running from the woods and coming here
I think they like possessed his mind and like made him do all that stuff.
and gave
How-
him powers. How the fuck
Yeah.
does that work?
I have
What kind of nightmare
I
place
don't know.
is this town?
I can't do that. I don't.
So Sophie,
Oh.
can you look within his mind and see if he's telling the truth? If it maybe
I guess so.
Uh,
How's everybody doing? I'm pretty hungry.
I'm
Is everyone feeling a little better?
A
marginally.
little.
I got Eleanor to the hospital. Everything's fine. Have any of you seen anything like this? And I'm going to bring up the photo of
What's in the photo again?
It's the weird cadaver that's with like the bone sharpened, like
Damaris
the-
has.
Is that like a Samisi thing?
I don't know, but they had a bunch. They had two of them dead at the hospital that I took Eleanor to.
I'm sorry, what do I recognize?
War ghouls.
War ghouls?
Yeah, Schlachta.
Oh yeah. Yeah, those are what we used to call war ghouls. They're still called.
War ghouls?
I mean,
Wait, so
I
like they were-
don't know the full definition of that. Basically, just cannon fodder.
Is this a Sabat thing? Because
Yeah,
Liam-
it is.
okay, 'cause,
Basically,
yeah,
cannon fodder.
yeah, Liam heard from Xandria. Apparently, they tussled with a group called the Founding Fathers. So there's still Sabat.
What did you just say? Who?
The founding fathers.
Fathers.
What?
Where? Where are they now?
I don't know. I heard it from Xandria. We'd have to contact
Wait,
her, but
back up. What's going on?
I pull
You
up my
clearly
phone
recognize
and
the phone.
I immediately try to contact Xandria.
Okay.
Uh,
So it actually goes right to voicemail. Like it doesn't even. It doesn't.
Okay,
It doesn't
then
even ring.
Okay, then I leave a message.
Okay.
This is Ben. If you know about the founders, you call me immediately.
Okay.
In the call.
Ben, Seth. So Seth and them had a run-in with this group, and Seth is hurt, but he's staying at the Cedar House. They're laying low. It's the Giovanni home base.
What do they have to do with the Giovanni?
I don't think they have it. I think they were friends, and there was a place for them to stay.
We have to go there now.
The whole city.
I
That
don't know.
is in the best. Is
What's
in
the Cedar-
hospital.
I don't think we can storm the Cedar House. That's probably not a good idea.
Can we
What
call
I'm
is-
not
them?
storming. I'm just walking, and I start
You-
to literally
you look-
start walking out.
You
Okay.
look pretty stormy to me.
There's a lot going on.
Yeah. Ben's. Now that you guys have gotten a chance to like talk, he's a little bit more passionate than what you guys remember. Like, I mean, he's a Bruja, so he can be easily angered, but he's a little bit more passionate about most everything that's been happening lately, ever since that fight.
I mean, he is. Yeah, I don't know.
I will say Remus is probably really taken aback by him being so mad, because I think Remus has never seen him lose his cool before.
Actually, haven't.
Yeah, which is why Remus was like trying to like give up information, like to kind of help calm him down a bit.
Yeah, so Ben's storming out the front. He doesn't even go out the back. He's storming out the front right now.
Okay.
So the wolves are gone. You're welcome.
Great. Open the door. Slam it behind me.
Okay.
Wow. Okay.
Okay.
Did I miss something?
I'm not sure what's going on there. That's I mean, they did wreck his car. Wait a minute. Founding Fathers, right? Why are you? What did you say, Remus?
Seth is injured, and we heard from Xandria that they were attacked by a Sabbat group known as the Founding Fathers.
Wait, so all of those police barricades, that was a fight with
I have no idea.
people?
I have no idea. I'm not even sure where it was. This is just what I heard from Liam.
Yeah,
He got a call while we were at the hospital.
huh.
And
So
with that,
remember-
you hear the sound of a bad muffler driving away at a high speed.
Well, he took his car, didn't he?
Oh yes,
It's gone.
Dang it. Oh,
just
I mean, maybe I should have brought the arm. Okay.
So Zachary is in the bathroom and will be out shortly. So what are we doing with him?
Somebody want to call? I mean, I can look at his mind. Somebody want to call one of the Giovannians? See what's going on over there.
I mean, who shouldn't you do it? You're a baron.
Okay, I guess I could do that.
I don't know anybody who's there. I mean, it makes sense for you to call. At least with this guy, he's not at the moment. He's not throwing fireballs, so he's not a current problem. But I'm worried about Ben.
Okay. The one that I usually talk to is Quan, so I'm gonna call Quan.
Okay. So phone picks up, and you can hear a lot of background noise and whatnot. Hey, Sophie.
Hey, Quan.
Interesting night.
Oh, you too?
Yes. I imagine you're probably calling for something similar.
Are you at the Cedar House?
Yes, it's all hands on deck over here. So yeah, I got called in.
You don't know about some Hamilton cosplayers
Hamilton
around town tonight?
Oh, you must mean those Founding Father guys.
Yeah. You don't know where they are, do you?
No. Apparently, some of Trudy's people are they're doing something to try and find them, and we've got our people on the street looking right now.
You remember you met Ben, right?
Briefly, yeah, and it was the first night that they showed up to town.
He I don't know, he's got some kind of a bug in his ear about the Founding Fathers, and we got word that they had something to do with you guys, and he is on his way over there with bells on, and I'm not sure what's got him so worked up, except maybe, I don't know, maybe it's a Bruja thing.
Okay. Well, thank you for the heads up.
Yeah. If you need us to come, I don't know, collect him or
You probably should.
like intervene.
Well, if for no other reason than to, I guess, speak to the Dawn and everybody get on the same page. And then that, of course, would help facilitate you reining him in should you need to.
Okay, we can. We'll be over soon.
All right. Well, I will let the others know.
Thank you.
For security purposes, park a block away.
Okay. We'll see you soon.
Okay.
Can I try and call Ben?
Sure. I'm sure you can.
Does he have a phone on him?
Yeah,
I
I imagine
do.
he still has his phone. Whether
I
he
let it
picks
ring
it up, it's up to him.
Yeah, I let it ring a couple of times, and you hear, "Yeah, what?
Park a block away
What?
from the Cedar House. They've got some stuff going on. And
Right.
we'll be there soon too.
All right, fine.
Be nice.
Aren't I always? End the call.
Boop.
Bum,
Okay.
bum, bum.
This is great. Can Zach wait? Maybe I can just do this real quick. Can someone bring me a drink?
So yeah, they bring you your 3 blood points.
Okay.
So Colin looks to Henri and says, Henri, you're gonna need something for that? Like, can you come over here, or you like?
I cannot move.
Okay. Hang tight. So he
Who wants
goes.
to give Henri a massage?
He goes walking outside to the truck.
Who wants to put it on him?
I've been holding his head up all evening, so somebody else.
Yeah, I saved you.
This is like that scene.
You
from,
did.
This is like
and
that scene from
that favor's
Braveheart,
returned.
where the father they're trying to pull the arrow out of his chest, and so even the strongest warriors in their clan are like, "You do it, I'll hold him down." And then he passes the branding iron off to somebody. You do it, I'll hold him down. Sort of thing. So like everybody lining up just to hold him down because they don't want to be the one he ends up attacking. When they put the branding iron to him.
Oh,
Sophie looks at the Nosferatu and she's like,
I mean, are we worried about Henri like attacking people when this happens, or because I can try to hold him down?
"You don't have to hold him down. You just have to rub the burn cream on
Attacking. I'm like
on him."
So
why don't we just?
So at this
make
point,
a bear do it.
So
it looks like a burned raisin is what it looked like right now.
So at this point, Colin comes walking back in with some more of that ointment, and he just holds it out. He says, whoever's going to do the thing."
What is this?
It's cream that's going to help.
Damaris will do it because he did save her life.
Okay.
Technically.
So he hands. It looks like it's a bottle of lotion.
Cool. Hey, you ready for a rub down, buddy? So she kind of does a whole dramatic moment of get ready. And she starts humming like, "What can I say except you're welcome?"
Oh God.
Okay, so with the cream on, there's enough for you to convert 2 of your aggravated points of damage to lethal, so you can heal. So you can heal those for 1 point a pop.
Oh,
Nice.
okay. I healed. Spend the 2 blood. I meant mauled. Yes, I can move.
It's a miracle.
So Zach at this point comes out. He's got his hands and face all washed up.
I would actually probably be jumping up around the same time that he's coming out and like, Damaris, I would hug you, but I don't think it's it.
No, I'm good.
So he sees you. He sees you as is, and he's like, "Holy criminy! What happened to you, boss?"
It's been a long night. It's Zachary, we have 2 ways to go with this discussion at this point.
Good Lord, you look like a kumquat had sex with a raisin.
Okay. So.
And it was like a hateful kind of sex.
So Zachary, I could bid you farewell, Mondu, and you can go with your life if you wish. There is a whole other world that I could introduce you to, which is strange and confusing and very beautiful, but it's very strange and confusing as well.
Shining, shimmering, splendid.
So I would, as you can see, Robert over there, he is also a little confused as well. We can help you into this world. But if you wish, Robert will stay with you, and once he is a little better, he can give you a ride to wherever you would want to go.
Do I have to decide that now? Because this is all like really, really weird and rushed.
No, you're fine.
Plus, all my things are gone. I think they were in the house when it burned.
I understand. I will have to work with Robert as far as payment and what we have. There is some money, but most of it was we have some coin. Coin is what does not burn, but if the police department has cordoned it off, I don't know if we'll have access to that anymore. But we need to leave. I think Robert will stay with you. Robert, are you?
Okay.
How are you?
Yeah, he's just like
Did you
I'm
want
okay,
me to
boss.
do the thing first?
Do what?
Do you want me to do the thing first?
Oh yes, do this. Do your thing with yes, please.
Zach, take a seat.
So he looks to Henri and he says, "Okay."
Okay, this is Sophie. You remember Sophie? She's
Vaguely.
She's not going to go on you.
I don't normally have hot women just to tell me, sit down in a chair.
Look into my eyes.
Oh no, believe
And
me,
relax.
I was already looking in your eyes. I wasn't gonna.
These eyes.
No, I was. I'm not like that. I know that joke.
I'm not ignoring. I'm ignoring him now, and
Yeah.
I'm just gonna. All right. Let's see. 2, 3, 2.
Okay. So surface thoughts initially. He doesn't understand any of this and is super confused, and it doesn't. He's madly trying to figure out like why the house burnt down.
Okay, can I try and dig a little?
Sure. Why don't you go ahead and re-roll difficulty 10?
Oh my gosh, I got 2 10s. But I also got a 1.
Oh. Well,
So 1 success.
Do you have a 4 in either one of those?
Yeah. Oh, that's true. So 3 successes.
Yes.
Sorry.
Okay. So it's taking you some time. You're not able to go much further because the concern for the fact that Benjamin's already on his way and already has a sizable lead on you guys is weighing on your mind at this point after everything that's gone on tonight. But you see him you see him outside the house on a phone in his mind, and he seems to be communicating with the Katerina. And in fact, the conversation that you are picking up on is the explosives that were set on the house.
Okay. Can I push an image of Ekaterina's face and see how he reacts?
Sure. So you kind of forcibly make his mind see, the Ekaterina, and he's just confused. He's like, huh? His first thought is like, okay, who is this hot chick and where do I know her from?
Oh, I know what's going on. I think I do in character.
Okay.
I'm thinking out of character. But she has to talk to me first.
I'm gonna withdraw.
Okay.
And
and
stand up.
Yeah, so he's just like, am I done? I don't want to look away or look anywhere else. Am I good?
How are you feeling?
Very confused.
But like,
I need a 420 moment right now, bad.
Are you hurting?
Well, my feet are kind of sore. I did a lot of walking, but no.
Okay. Hang tight. And I'll go talk to
So
the others.
So he flags down one of the people that work here, and he's like, "Can I get another shirt? This is like, I don't own anything else." And they're like, "Whatever." They go and get him, an Enzio's, cheap little white T-shirt.
So I'm gonna go back to
merch.
Yeah.
Free advertising. I'll tell him. So he's definitely had some contact with Ekaterina. I would say it's likely that he was the one that set the explosives on the house, but he doesn't remember anything about it. So I'm guessing maybe there was some kind of mind block. Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Does
Sounds like it.
Ekaterina, does she know the Dominique?
I don't know, but I wouldn't be surprised. She seems old, so maybe quite likely.
I would not put it past the Sabbat to possess someone's mind and make them do something that they do not want to do. And
Yeah, ditto.
I mean,
I don't know much about her clan, so I don't know if that's a thing that they already can do or what. But
even if she does not have the power herself, she has her minions. One of her minions could have. She could say to her minion, "Tell him to do this," and then he does it. So,
and for that matter, I know Sabbat are likely to share talents, right? So anyway, I don't.
Some will, most will. Usually it's sort of in a pack. Like, you know what I know, let's share and protect each other sort of method.
Well,
can we have this conversation going after Ben? I'm a little worried about what's going to happen when he gets to.
You're right. That's
but
true.
look, my fear with Zachary is, do we kill him now? And
I don't know if it's something that she can just pick up and do again.
I mean, if she did it with him, I think it's logical to expect that she could do it with anybody.
Isn't she dead though?
Oh, that's true. She is.
I mean, yeah. So, I mean, it's really up to you. Do you want to? I mean, I hate to sound callous. I'm really not, but I mean, you can just eat him, and we could all use a meal, or you can have him join, in a sense.
I mean, he doesn't know anything. We could just as easily give him some cash and set him loose.
Unless one of you can.
Nope.
I don't know, like mind wipe him or something.
I can try.
At this point, I simply think it's Robert and I have to start over. I mean, we can do it with or without Zachary. I would like to have him on board, but
why don't you just ghoul him then and have him help you rebuild?
Well, but I'd like he is.
There's nothing wrong with more than one ghoul. Trust me, I know. I had to take over a few, not that I wanted to, but it was necessary. So if you really feel like he could be useful, just embrace him and just get it over with. Otherwise, wipe his mind or eat him.
I'm gonna let me speak to Robert, and I think we'll decide right now. So I'm gonna go to Robert, and I'm like, okay, Robert, I know you're out of it. I need you to focus and talk to me. So here we are with Zachary. Either let them go, or I'm going to ghoul him now. He wants time to decide, but I think we need to make this decision now, because we need to leave. So I need your input. What do you say?
You're leaving it up to me?
Why are you asking your ghoul?
Because if I ghoul him, he's going to be with you. So.
Whoa, be with me how?
As in we're living together again. So like he's not going to be your mate or someone like that.
Oh, okay. Whew, all right. I don't get it. Why? What's the hesitation?
Because you've spent more time with him during the day than I have. I've spent very little time with him. I've only spent time training him.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, you guys were all huddled over there like there was some, big what to do or something. I mean, as a person, no, he's fine. He's actually pretty good with leather. I mean, is that the drawback?
No, it's a 420. The smoking
Oh,
cigar.
yeah, that's not a big deal. It's mostly legal where we go anyways, so it's not like we have anything to worry about there.
All right, then let's out of character. How long does it take to goal somebody?
8 blood point.
And then it's done. Like, I mean, it's
Yeah.
just. I just don't. My fear. I only have one goal at a time ever. So, and I'm afraid if I don't have his input on it, I don't want to goal him and have him say, rebel and leave me, that kind of thing. But I guess I could always eat him then after I goal him.
I think it's funny for you who is a
yes.
yeah, like you murder, like you chop up bodies, and the irony here is that you're asking your ghoul, hey, are you okay if I ghoul somebody else? I don't want you to feel jealous or anything.
I've only had one goal at a time ever.
It's just so funny to me that you're asking permission from your ghoul.
Well, not
Just
asking permission.
Ben's
I'm like,
rubbing off on him.
Yeah.
I think
so.
that's
Why?
you guys rubbing off on me, basically. So
Just do it. Rip the Band-Aid off.
So okay, all right, I am done. Zachary, welcome to the world of darkness. So I walk over to him.
It's okay. He's like, is this that what we do in the shadows thing again?
And then some.
And then what?
And then some. And some a little bit more.
So okay, so then just to wrap this up, then how do you give him the blood? Do you just force it down his mouth? Do you show him put it in a cup? Or you try to do it on the sly and put it in a drink and then have him drink?
I like the middle option. Just show him and put it in a drink. Say, hey, this is cool.
So here, I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get the blood, and I'm gonna give blood to Robert, and I'm gonna Zachary. This is a bond that Robert and I have. It's a supernatural bond. It is. There is a lot to this, and I can explain more in depth. But this night, so like I bite my wrist and I put blood into a cup.
Okay.
And I give that to Robert.
Okay, so yeah, Robert, I mean, takes it no problem, but he looks at that and he's like, "The hell are you doing?"
I do the same thing in a cup, and I'm like, Zachary, this is your indoctrination. You will receive power.
I'm not drinking that Jesus juice. What are you doing?
It's not Jesus juice. It's.
Tell him it's a good high.
It's infused.
You know what?
Damaris is going to say that. It's infused.
I'm going to turn into a supermodel that I might have seen. I'm just going to do the face of a supermodel with Mask of 1,000 Faces.
Okay.
I'm going to attempt that just to show him a power that I can do. So, what the heck is... Where's Mask? There we go. Manipulation performance. I have -5 dice. No, -2 dice because I'm mauled. Manipulation 4, 8, so it's 6, 3, 6, and I spend a willpower. So willpower is an automatic success, right?
Yes, it is.
Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. With my willpower, the 7 successes.
Wow.
Okay, so you look like you, except with a supermodel face.
So that's what I do. I change my face, and I'm like, I go, was this power? You can change your face. You can change how you appear. There are true powers that I am giving to you that you will learn in time.
As soon as you do that, he Macaulay Culkins it and runs out the door.
Oh, shit. Anybody stop him?
Yeah, can I grab him?
Do you have celerity?
I do.
Okay. Without burning a point, you're fast enough to try and reach out for him. But yeah, he's panic stricken at this point.
Okay. Yeah.
Wow. Did not
Yeah.
expect that.
Should I go after him?
Did you stop?
Well, I need to know what at this point the brawl and dexterity check for Remus.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Because he's
Brawl
reaching
and
out and grabbing him.
Okay.
No.
Who's line?
Dex plus brawl. Okay. If he throws a Hadoken at this moment, we'll know for sure. Okay, and so I've got a 5 in Dex and a 5 in Brawl, so 10s are 2 successes, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that is 1, 2, 3, 6 successes.
Okay, yeah. So you grab him firm. He's not going anywhere, but he's thrashing around like just trying, for like to save his life to get the hell out of here.
Okay, I'm gonna use presence.
What level?
I'm gonna use awe,
Okay.
charisma, performance. It's the same level.
You have presents?
Yeah.
Who did you get it from?
I don't remember. I got it from when you guys during the fire is the last time I used it. Just then when we burned down the forest. All right. 1 takes out the 9. 1 takes out the 7. But I have 3 successes.
I don't think it was me.
Okay.
So, what is awe? I just calm him down with awe, right?
Well, you tell me. You're putting him under your influence. He's still panic stricken, but he's more susceptible to listen to you.
I'm like, Zachary, we are wasting time. You need to calm down. You need to listen to me.
This is all crazy. You look like burnt kumquat grazing with like Kathy Ireland model face.
Right.
I don't get it.
I will drop the face. So
Okay.
my regular face. Zachary, listen to me. There are so many good things to this world. I'm bringing you into this world now. So at this point, you will drink from me and we will discuss this. Drink now.
He's like, do I have to? That's not even sanitary.
It is here. Hold on. I get a cup. I get the cup. I start mumbling in French over it. I'm like, what was it? And I'm like, okay, there. Now it is very sanitary now.
Okay.
Oh, poor Henri.
So yeah, you can. It's sanitary. It's good for you. It will make you healthy.
Okay, so he takes the cup a little bit, drinks it, and he starts heaving.
All right. Is that part of the process, or is that just him being sick?
That's him being sick.
And I think that's a him thing.
All right, Zachary.
Mental.
Zachary, they need to leave. They're going to walk out the door any moment now, and this is for your safety. This is for your life. You must.
So he runs off to the men's room at this point, and then you just hear him.
Sophie, is there a car I can drive outside that you guys can leave and I can catch up?
Maybe the car you guys took. Everyone can just.
Yeah, you know what? You can take the hot wired car.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't need it anymore. Just get it away from here.
I can use that. I do not know how to hotwire a car though. Is it easy?
I mean, it's already
Yep.
started, but I mean,
Robert's like, no, I can deal with it if we need to. It's fine, sir.
All right. So
the rest of us can just pile in the.
I will stay here with Zachary and girls and Robert. And Robert, go in the bathroom and go take care of Zachary. Make sure he's not climbing out some window in the back, because I don't know if there is one back there.
No, there's no window. It's all inside. All right.
I just need to know where you're going, is all. So Robert can take us there.
Okay, so you were taking care of that. The rest of you take off. You get there way ahead of them at this point, Benjamin. You stop about a block away from the Cedar House. The Cedar House was not hard to find. It is a local historic landmark. So finding it on your GPS was a snap.
Well, okay.
The neighborhood is very nice. It sits just off of a golf course and country club. It actually overlooks it from a hill, and you go walking down. It's got street lights every so often, but again, the whole neighborhood is pretty quiet. But just walking, even stepping out of your car and walking, you can already feel eyes are on you at this point.
Okay.
And you come walking up to the front of this place. You can see that there are two people, kind of waiting out front and just looking around, sitting on the porch. It's a really, really nice looking older home, probably made in the 70s and remodeled some in the 80s. But it's got, it's appears to be one story, but kind of long. With a nice sizable yard around it.
Gotcha. Are there like a lot of homes in this community, or
Yes.
like there's okay?
Yeah, but they're all nicer homes. They're not they're not like directly on top of one another. Like everybody has a front yard and probably a backyard. They've probably got the drive port as well as a garage, so it's a little bit more spaced out.
Yeah, this is a well-to-do area.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So if I see those like two guards or whatever in front, like, hey, I already got somebody in there. They met with some. Fuck it. You guys know Xandria and her people? Or are they in there? You got in a tussle?
So the one guy looks at the other and he goes walking on the inside. And so at this point, the guy comes walking back out, and he says, "All right, show us your hands." So he comes walking over, and they start patting you down. Are you carrying any weapons or anything like on you?
I'd be carrying one knife.
Okay, so they take the knife at this point, and he says, "All right, keep your hands to yourself. Follow us."
Go ahead, do it.
So you go walking into walking up into the house. Really nice home. More crowded than it probably normally is. Have you seen The Godfather?
Bits and pieces.
Okay. This all happened like the beginning part of the movie. So it's like when an attack happened in the movie, like they had like all the family on the inside of this really nice looking house. So it gives the impression that there's a party going on, but there's not a party going on. Everybody's kind of on the slightly stressed out scale sort of thing, and keeping an eye out, openly brandishing weapons sort of thing.
Okay.
And as you come walking in, some guy comes approaching you, a younger guy. He's got a polo, he's wearing like a polo shirt. The buttons are open at this point. Wearing nice slacks, got a nice wristwatch and whatnot. Youthful appearance, probably, if he's 30, but he's probably not, probably late 20s sort of thing. And he says, you were probably that Benjamin guy, right?
One and only, apparently. Who contacted you?
Xandria. She's not mobile right now.
Huh.
She let us know who you were. My name's Jimmy. Jimmy Giovanni. So he sticks out his hand.
Go ahead and shake it. Pleasure, Jimmy. Heard you have a Seth. Is he in here somewhere? One of Xandria's people?
Yeah. He's in the back room with the doctor at this point. If and he just motioned to the two. He motioned to the two guys. He says, "Go back out front and hang out, and keep an eye out." And they're like, "Yeah, sure thing." They march back out. And so he takes you through this house. Really, like the it's almost wall to wall decor in here. You know, like a family pictures and nice planters. Furniture and whatnot. Like really, no space in the house is not used for something. Living up to the fact that it is a very lived-in home, and it does there are a lot of pictures of family around, like you would one would expect of a house where a lot of family lived. And he takes you in to what was probably like a dining room or something, but they've got the table pushed up. They've got several cots already put out. You see Seth because you saw him from before. He is on a cot. He's got like an IV and an oxygen mask on right now, and they have like a little portable unit to monitor his vitals. You can see, and he's like patched up and whatnot. And you can see that there's a couple other people in here you don't recognize. You can see Xandria laying on one of the cots. She's got her arm in a sling, and she has her leg in a brace at this point. And so he snaps his fingers, to Xandria, and she, kind of looks up and she says, "Oh, Benjamin," and, leans up, with her one good arm. She's like, "When did you get here?"
"Just now. You and your crew. You fought the founders or founding fathers?"
Yeah, and they're they're cronies that they brought with them.
"How many were there?"
There were 5 founding fathers. They had 2 war ghouls. We managed to put down the war ghouls and one of their members. I don't know which guy. I think maybe Roosevelt, or I don't know who the hell he was. He looked presidential.
"Roosevelt." And he pulls out a small, like spiral notepad, like a handheld one. He flips a few pages, takes out a small pencil, and crosses off one thing. Then closes it. Puts everything back. "Where are the others? Where are they?"
We've got no clue. The 2 of them bolted mid-fight. One of them turned to mist. And the other one managed to vanish when we were trying to pull some of our own people back. We got their vehicle that they came with, so if nothing else, we know they're going to be looking for something else. We've got one of our people keeping an eye on the city. We're expecting them to probably go to ground, so we'll probably end up seeing them at some point tomorrow. If we can track them during the day, we're going to try and hit them then.
"They're active at night. Call me first thing. I'm going to be there in the front line."
Sure thing, Benjamin. Maybe you should probably talk to my boss. Jimmy, can you where she's at? Can you get a hold? And he's like, he kind of just nods and he goes walking off.
"You even know why they're here? What they were doing?"
I'll let my boss kind of explain that. I think she probably has some more details that I don't have right now, but they came with an objective. I'm not too sure how much it makes sense. She might know more.
Right. You you take care of yourself then.
Yeah. You just hang out in the living room or something. I'm sure they'll be right out.
So Ben turns and he goes to see if he can just kind of follow where Jamie was headed.
Jimmy walked down the hall and he's going to what appears to be a bedroom door and knocking.
Okay, so I'm still gonna go up to him. I'm gonna be next to him and waiting for that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he kind of looks at you and he says, This is the Dawn's bedroom.
That's great. Why are we not contacting Trudy? Or do I just have to call her myself?
Don Malcolm. Trudy, there's a guest outside the door for you. He turns and looks a little uncomfortable. He's like, yeah, you could have waited. And you can hear some rustling in the inside of the bedroom.
Coulda, woulda, shoulda, you know.
Okay, so I guess I'm double dipping tonight. But I don't have my Trudy hat on. So Trudy comes out a little bit annoyed. Probably wearing a bathrobe or some sort of a dressing gown. And gives Jimmy a look.
I'm sorry, ma'am. He just followed me.
Yeah,
sorry.
Just kinda followed him.
Ms. Maxwell, this is, I think, one of your own. He said his name is Benjamin.
I can't remember. Has Ben met Trudy before?
I don't believe so, no.
No.
Trudy is blonde. She's about, I think she's 5'2", quite short. Heavy Texas accent. She's not wearing her usual, so that's not going to help you. So she'll just give him an imperious look and say, "What is this about?" Oh, wait. Sorry. Scratch that, because Trudy would have known who Ben was.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's never met him, but she knows who he is.
Yeah. Okay. You're the investigator, right?
That's right. Pantheon Investigations. Thanks for the job, by the way. But shit's been happening in town.
Yes, we are aware. What's this about?
The Founding Fathers. Do you have any idea why they're here?
That is yes and no. Let's have a seat. And
Ms. Maxwell, if I could recommend, there's some seating in the kitchen that isn't occupied. You could probably go that way. That's a little bit more private from everybody else.
All right, she'll give him a nod and then lead over to the kitchen.
Follow.
And it's basically, it's like your typical kitchen there, but there's like, it's packed with like, the hanging spices and whatnot. But there's a nice little 2-person table that sits like right up against the wall, where people could just have like conversations or sample foods or just whatever. So it's like a little half table pressed up against the wall, and there's 2 chairs next to it.
So she takes a seat and gestures to another chair, and then she kind of looks out into the hallway like, "Is it just you?"
For now. Don't know if the rest are following me, but I had to be here now. I've been after the Founders for a long time. Too long. They need to die. ASAP.
Well, I do not disagree with that. Unfortunately, several of them escaped tonight. That taking them out was not my objective. They were attempting to abduct a friend of mine. We came to her rescue.
Who?
name of Lettice Valentine.
You know why?
I believe they were acting on the authority of one Ekaterina.
Well, she's toast, in case you didn't know.
Really, do tell.
Well, she seems like she was destroyed by another Sabbat. Yeah, they're just a bunch of demon god Sabbat gods who have powers like you wouldn't fucking believe. Outclassing
What?
us, of course, but
And you were
took care
there?
of them. Yeah.
What did this other Sabbat look like?
Well, you had a Katarina, and then the one that came up, let's see, he held out his hand, and then some lava appeared on the ground. And then they both ran into the cabin and sounded like he found new ways to tear off pieces of her one at a time.
Oh, that makes me giggle a little bit.
Disturbing, but okay.
I have no love for her myself either. The Sabbat who took her out, I wouldn't call us friends, but I'd say it was past time. As far as I know, he has been on her trail for a very long time as well. Now, what the founders have to do with her, I'm not sure, other than the usual Sabbat antics. She has had a thing. Now, this is in confidence. I don't want this getting out to the general public.
Fine.
She has had a personal issue with Lettice for a long time, and I'm not sure if it goes further than that, getting the founders involved, but they were doing her bidding tonight, I'm sure of it.
All right. And you have no idea where they went, where they're staying, anything.
I have a computer specialist watching the city for hidey holes. Malcolm's got his people pounding the pavement. That's all we can do for now.
You're going to look for one
What?
other thing.
What's that?
You're going to watch the news, and you're going to watch to see if little girls are being murdered.
Oh dear.
In the area.
That's their MO, huh?
At least one of them.
I'll tell my people.
If you ever get a lead on him, you get to him before I do. Call me. You need somebody to end them. I'm your guy.
All right. We be happy for the help.
Sorry for barging in and didn't even get dressed. Apologize. It's fucking nightmare town. You know that? You have enemies everywhere. What the shit? Free city of Ashland? My ass. Holy shit.
Unfortunately, that's how these things tend to work. More of us there are, more trouble follows us.
Like, yes, still, it's insane.
At this point,
I mean,
you guys are the rest of you are showing up.
we've got an army, and it's still not enough. We got enemies to the north and south. For all you know, I got fucking mole people underneath us and bird people hovering above. Who the fuck knows?
Bird people?
I don't know. Brand just like last night learned that fucking gargoyles are a thing.
Oh. Oh, that's right. I heard that you might have seen that.
Yeah, what was that all about? Do you know?
She's one of mine. You could say she's a sort of exchange student.
The fucked up school then.
I'm doing a little deprogramming.
So poaching from the other team and re-education?
Something like that.
Okay. Careful with that. Not sure why you'd want to bother.
Some people are worth the trouble.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess you're right. Well, you have a nice place here.
Oh, I don't live here.
Oh. Well, it's a nice place where you're staying right now. How about that?
That is true. And
And-
we'd like to keep it that way, if you don't mind.
And then there's a knock at the kitchen door frame. Ms. Maxwell, it's Jimmy. Ms. Maxwell, there's more at the door?
That'll be them, the Baron, and the rest of us.
I recognize some of the other ones. I just wasn't expecting them. Did you want me to bring them back to the kitchen?
Tell you what. Thank you for your time. Again, you contact me if you know.
All right.
And I stand up and saunter out the kitchen.
Okay.
Trudy doesn't want to invite people into Malcolm's house. Kind of it's just a territorial courtesy.
Okay.
So, if Ben wants to go and update his people, she'll. I mean, if Malcolm wants to let them in, then that's fine. And if they want to talk to her, then she'll talk to him.
Okay. So he takes that and he just follows Benjamin, up front, sort of thing. And Benjamin, as you are walking towards the door, as you walk past one of the side rooms, It looks like it's probably a library. It's not currently being used for like bedding or whatnot, probably because it looks like there's a lot of perishables in here. But you end up seeing somebody who kind of resembles what you saw back at the other haven, kind of thumbing around the books, and you end up hearing her hum, "I'm a little dumpling, short and stout. Here is my handle, here is my spout."
What do I recognize her from, like, exactly? Do I, like...
Flying Away.
Okay.
Heavy metal t-shirt.
Yeah, the heavy metal t-shirt and whatnot, yeah.
I stop and then look and go, "Hey there. Thanks for the assist earlier."
So she turns and she's looks a little shocked, and she's like, "You're welcome?"
Yeah. Sorry for not knowing you're on our side.
Oh, okay.
Right.
She's kind of awkward about it because she doesn't seem to know like what to make of the interaction either, sort of thing. So she's went with it.
Yeah. You take it easy. And I keep walking towards the others.
Okay. And then like she quickly runs out of the room and goes back to go find Trudy. Okay, so you go up front with the others at this point. You guys were waiting out on the patio. And they
Hey,
hand you back your
everybody.
knife.
Oh, thank you. Put that back in its sheath.
Everything all right in there? You
Yeah.
okay?
Yeah. Fine.
They're all dead.
His hands
Yeah.
are dripping with blood.
All done. No.
It's all good now.
I left some for you.
Right. Yeah. They don't have a lot of information right now. Looking for the founders. They got one of them. Got one of them. And some war ghouls. They're not sure what they were after, except seems like they were trying to kidnap Ms. Valentine. Somebody that the Dawn knows. And apparently a Katarina was involved. Like she may have been the one to actually control the founders.
Remus and Remus, Sophie, and Henri. Why don't you give me a wits and alertness check, difficulty 7?
Or Henri stayed behind at the restaurant.
Oh, you didn't even come?
Well, I wanted to work on Zachary before I left.
Okay.
So I'm about to be in the next car.
I don't know how long were we kept waiting on the porch.
Oh, we can say long enough. It's fine. Difficulty 7.
Oh, so I'm there then? Okay.
Sure.
Only got one.
Perception and alertness, you said?
Yes.
Ooh, 2, 3. Difficulty 7?
Uh-huh.
3.
Okay.
1.
Okay. I mean, it's enough. You guys remember one of the first instances that you encountered at Katarina? Do you guys remember that out of character?
At the
Was it the gallery we went to?
yeah, the gallery. She was
Yep.
invisible.
Whose gallery?
Was it Lettice?
Uh-huh.
Back when we didn't know if Ekaterina was good or bad.
Right.
We didn't even know if she was surviving or anything.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't she like invisible the whole time?
Yeah.
Yeah, she was obfuscated the whole time.
Yeah. So knew she couldn't be trusted. Like, where'd go?
I'm totally reading through all my notes from Ekaterina and Lettice.
Should we check in with Lettice then, make sure she's okay? Maybe see what this whole thing is about? If all of this has been just a way for her to get to her, maybe we need to check in.
Right? Seems like they have her safe right now.
I guess it doesn't have to be tonight, but you know.
Ben, you seem a little hot under the collar lately. Is there something going on with you?
Sounds a fucking nightmare. First off,
Yeah.
enemies everywhere. We are outclassed. You understand? Let me put it to you this way. We didn't win. We were given Max. Think about it. The Katarina, her pack, meet up with Max. Where do we find them? They're all inside the cabin. Where's he? Out there doing all the work. What were they doing? Attacking us here and there. Not much, just kind of interfering. Because they didn't want to interfere with us. Getting rid of the asshole they probably wanted to get rid of. We don't have control here. This town's fucking terrible.
Well,
You want me to be a sweeper? I'll tell you what. You can take that title and shove it. I'm not doing it anymore. Because it's fucking impossible. You want me to go throw my life away when I got shit to do? Fuck no. The founders. They're dying, and then I'm done here. I go over and find a seat and just like kind of sit down. Just kind of look at the ground.
Okay.
He is having a very bad day.
well, I know it's been a pretty tough night. Maybe I'll feel a little bit better tomorrow.
I mean, I kind of agree with him. We don't like how often is it that somebody new is in our town doesn't care about what we think? I mean, how do we even establish anything here when there's just so many people who come in, or not even people, just things coming in and just taking? And what can we do? I have no idea.
Well, you're not wrong. You're not wrong, but at the same time, we're still
Look,
here.
you keep fighting. I didn't give up an entire faction just to have everybody else give up too.
We walked away from that fight, and then we walked away from the next one, and we just like we walked away from the last one. And yeah, maybe we didn't kill the people that we went to kill, but we all walked away. The town's safe from the wolves. Apparently, we're safe from Ekaterina. We're still here. Whether that's because we made friends with the right people, I think that's about half of this job, is making sure that you ally with the people that are stronger than you, who see the same things that you do, see the same way that you do. So yeah, some of us are a little young, some of us are not so young. We're all going to have somebody that's stronger than us. What are our options? What are you just going to keep running to the next town, hoping that things will be different? Yes, there's always going to be somebody stronger. But at least here we have each other's backs.
I can tell you this. For 2 centuries, I went from town to town. It's I would move on, and I did not have many roots, as they say. My roots were shit. Um, I, like Damaris, you were flabbergasted with me with Zachary. I have only had one ghoul at a time. I would eat my ghoul and leave. So coming here, I I'm learning a new way to appreciate how to work. I guess in a group. Um, uh, the Sabat clan was shit. The Camarilla has been shit for quite some time. I feel more a part of what's going on here. Benjamin, I'm not sure where you are going to go after this, but I think this group works well together. Um, I will help you find these founding fathers, um, and where will you go after this if you once you destroy them?
He stands up. I don't need to go anywhere after that. Look. I don't like talking about it. He reaches into his jacket and he pulls out like the notebook. I know you guys didn't see it, but it's a notebook. He flips a few pages and he pulls out a little photograph.
And it's pretty worn. Like he's had it with him for quite a while.
And he hands it over to Sophie. And it's a picture of me and a little girl. We're posing for the camera and smiling for it.
About what era is this photo?
Looks like probably early 80s.
Okay.
She's got a go-go shirt on.
That was my daughter, Cindy. I thought we'd have a better life in New Orleans. Her mother ran out on us. I had just started figuring out what I could do with investigative work. We're doing well for a few years. She said she wanted to be an astronaut. In 1985, September 8, I came home. You ever see a little kid with a name etched into their chest? Well, I get to see that every morning that I close my eyes to sleep. She was the fifth one in a series of killings. He wrote his name in her like she's a fucking document. Jefferson, a member of the founders. I dropped everything. Spent months. My premier friend, Scarlett, she was a vampire at the time, and I didn't know, but she helped. And I found him. I had no idea what the fuck that was, what this life was. I wasn't enough. A knife, a shotgun, didn't matter. And I couldn't even save the girl that they were going after there. My would-be sire apparently was on the case too and found me. He decided to save me. The rest is pretty much history. It's been my goal for 35 years. I don't have another one. But now you know. No matter where you're holding the picture, he takes it back from you. He puts it back where it was.
So let's find him together.
I think Remus is just gonna walk up to Ben and just kind of like gently like put his arms around him and pull him in for a hug.
All right. Damaris are like, awkward.
Sophie is so proud.
Oh, they
Matt-
get to hug. I don't get to hug anyone else. They get to.
Is that? She's like looks at Henri. Is like, is that a thing now?
Oh, no, I asked you for a hug earlier. You said no.
No,
No,
I don't hug people.
I go in to go give Maris a hug.
No, she's just kind of like, oh.
Okay, wrong time.
So Ben returns like a couple of pats on the back.
And
Thanks, pal.
I'll just back away and I'll just say, I get it. We'll get him.
Damn fucking right, we're gonna get him.
And that's where we'll end it for tonight, for the epilogue. That was deep.
It was a nice, solid ending.
Yeah.
So had a lot of reveals there. So real quick before we end up, someone want to roll XP for the month?
I'll do it.
Okay.
Do we have any birthdays?
It's
February birthdays?
right now in Georgia. It's literally my birthday.
Right now, today?
Yeah, well,
Happy birthday, George!
Yeah.
Tomorrow?
Oh, still during the month of February.
Yeah. So for the month of February, so you get to roll an additional D6. So it's a D4 and a D6, both of them +1.
Okay.
And I'm totally giving Dale my RP vote. Because that was deep, man. That was deep. Cut me real deep.
We haven't done that in a while.
Oh, awesome. And it's +1 to each die?
Yeah, +1 to each die.
Okay, so I rolled a 4 on the D4, so that's 5, and I rolled a 5 on the D6, so that's 6, so it's 11.
Nice.
We need to spend experience.
Oh, I'm sorry. How much did we get?
11 total.
11 total.
Man, yeah. That's some XP. Like,
Oh yeah.
And so before we wrap, I had talked to Brittany about doing this. Obviously, we went way long on the game. I wanted to give you guys time to do that. But if there was any out of character questions you guys wanted to ask me about plot, about anything, it's just as a quick wrap, because this has been 4 seasons of this game, and there's been a lot of storylines at this point resolved. This is your time to ask a question, any type of question. Obviously, it'd be answered out of character.
yeah, I do.
Okay.
I do have questions. Like, the whole history of Ekaterina and Killian and Latisse and all that.
I figured that was going to come up. Okay.
Yes, because I'm looking through all of the notes from that.
Yeah.
And I'm reading through, and I already know the history.
there are parts of that obviously weren't going to come up unless you guys interacted with Latisse. But Latisse
never had an opportunity to.
There's been a few, but you guys have been busy with a lot of other more pressing things. Or things that were more appropriate on a personal level. So you guys didn't get a whole lot of interaction with Latisse.
Yeah, I feel like Latisse, the nature of what's going on there is very personal, and she is very tight-lipped about it.
I want to say something so bad because I know in character why. Just I'm not allowed to say anything.
Yeah, I feel like you need
What do you think?
Killian.
I mean, I'm happy to answer it in its entirety. But if you think you know, go ahead and blurt it out.
If you have a guess, I will.
Go ahead. What do you think?
Me or her?
Oh, I know what's going on.
Oh, me?
Because Trudy knows what's going on. Sophie does.
Well, Ekaterina, Latisse was poached from her from a child from the Seneschal of Paris. And it was partly because of Killian that she got poached as a result of it. So Ekaterina's been following Latisse for like 100 years.
No, much longer. Actually,
I mean, at least a century.
Basically, the backstory was Latisse was a very renowned up-and-coming opera singer, and got in the crosshairs for embrace from the Seneschal of Paris. However, Ekaterina, who was who was very renowned within the Camarilla circles and their salons, had already asked for and received permission to embrace her. The Seneschal did not like that, in a fit of jealousy, embraced her himself, making her Clan Toreador. Enraged, she lashed out and attempted to kill the seneschal of Paris, and unfortunately, somebody got in the way of her attack, and it hurt him but didn't kill him. She like blew him away with that. The person got in her way with that sonic scream. She ended up. It was believed that she ended up dying in the opera house fire, and from that point on, she laid low. And so Ekaterina's sole focus from that point in time was to keep an eye on, and was super obsessed with Lettice this whole time. Killian picked up on part of it, and so had kept an eye on Lettice because they first met back in before he became Sabbat. They met back in Victorian era London, and he had kept an eye on her and kept in touch with her over the years, and he eventually stumbled onto part of Ekaterina's plot, and the fact that she kept manipulating Lettice from afar, which is one of the reasons why Lettice was having problems and was constantly on the move. She didn't even know who Ekaterina was. To the extent that, and this kind of ties into the other parts that you guys are dealing with, Ekaterina made sleeper agents, basically Manchurian candidates, to stay around her, to act as her ghouls or whatever. But in actuality, they reported directly to her, and they had been with her this whole time. And so as Lettice moved from city to city, from location to location, and so on and so forth, so did Ekaterina eventually move in those circles and continue to try and manipulate her from afar. So you guys, in essence, just kind of got caught up in her backwash. Like Lettice finally came here when she, felt safer to join the Anarchs than she did the manipulation games of the Camarilla, and just you guys kind of got swept up into that, purely by accident. And so, because of her hyper possessive, obsessive nature towards Lettice, she immediately threw your little group into her plans to try and, thwart the issue so she could eventually claim Lettice for herself and make her see, her way.
Happen.
What's up?
What did Benedict have to do with that? Was he just a pawn?
Benedict was ultimately a pawn. That was it.
Just to get us out of the city.
Yep. It literally just. Yep.
Well, it worked.
And that was solely so that she could build a power base in Portland without any sort of concern, because she knew if the Anarchs weren't there, Portland would fall.
So who dominated Zachary?
Zachary has always been a pawn of Ekaterina. He's also a Manchurian candidate.
So now that I've ghouled him, what happens there?
Well, she's dead.
So that bond is broken now.
Yes, so she can't possibly control him now.
Unless you accidentally stumble onto his trigger word.
Uh-oh.
Because that's what happens with Manchurian candidates. There's that trigger, and then they go into the other mode.
Oh God!
Great.
So this particular part of the plot actually predates this new Ashland game by several months. This was something I actually wrote before I actually relaunched this particular game, and eventually brought it into this. So this plot is actually a little bit older than this game.
Nice.
And I just want to double check. Ekaterina is definitely dead.
Ekaterina has met a fate worse than death.
Okay, good.
Do you have any questions about Trudy. Obviously, she doesn't have a lot of screen time, but Jerome and I have been kind of playing her behind the scenes. So,
I mean, I kind of don't want to ask just because I think it's
Yeah, I
more
don't think I
fun
want to
to-
know.
find out in
just yet.
character.
Yeah, I'd
Yeah.
rather find out in character. I
Sure,
think
yeah.
about Trudy.
That's fair.
Is Trudy gonna be mad that my house got burned down?
Probably, but that's what insurance is for.
Yep.
So she's
mean-
not mad at me. She's more mad at
Yeah,
me.
she needs to hire a good lawyer. I mean, I'm sure they've got people.
Well, we do know one. Stephen B. New, Stephen B. New, Stephen B. New, Stephen B. New.
Wrong
Call
universe.
Stephen B. New.
What's going to happen with
I have
the
no idea what that's about.
mountainside forest area that got burned down that we were trying to fix?
Oh yeah,
That is a great question. Unfortunately, parts of that plot got put on hold because you guys weren't, and this is just the way it worked out. You guys weren't able to respond to much of it as quickly as possible, which is why the werewolves went on the rampage. So that is likely going to be a part of season 5 in the very beginning, because despite the timing and the fighting, you guys did hold up to what was a seemingly impossible bargain.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. Like, because even though I took a little bit of a break out of character, like in character, I was still helping to finance the recovery of that. So I would not have let that ball drop in terms of, to help fix it.
Ideally, if that works out,
modifying it.
the idea behind that is that now the sorcerers and the werewolves have a reason to see, to have an overall reason, a joint reason to help see that this particular area stays free of additional trouble.
Right. And I think Damaris feels a little bit of a responsibility to help maintain that area. Because, well,
Sure.
she's the one that burned it down in the first
Yeah, yeah.
place.
And
In defense of y'all, okay?
yep,
Just
absolutely nothing
saying.
wrong with that.
So she would try to build that relationship for that area in that sense, because she's magically inclined too, and this would
Yeah.
help her and all that. So
Yeah,
kinda
had
works
you
out.
been
Also,
able
she's
to,
real earthy, and the werewolves probably wouldn't hate her as much as they hate the rest of us.
I think so. It works out.
you would think
better.
so. But had
Not
the
underestimate the ability of werewolves to hate vampires. I
had the
guess.
story obviously could have gone a couple of different ways, but had you been able to respond to that particular piece earlier, this whole back end of the plot would have gone very differently, because when the Sabbat finally acted, then the werewolves and the sorcerers would have actually been there to respond to it as well, severely thwarting Ekaterina's power, which is one of the reasons why you guys had such an issue there towards the end with hate.
Can't believe we had to take on both of them at the same time.
For real.
Well, you did sort of, but Dale called it outright. Ekaterina was a marriage of convenience. Ultimately, she had
I
she
agree.
had no reason to side with him, and the only reason why they even met is because Maxwell Haight accidentally swiped one of her pawns.
Yeah.
Oh, that was going to be my next question: is how did they end up in bed together?
Yep, that was it.
Metaphorically.
Yep.
I mean, it was very clear from like when she drove up that he had no idea she was coming.
Yeah. We knew this was like, she's gonna manipulate him and in some way or form, and
What she does.
Yep.
exactly.
That's what she did. Past tense.
Yeah, that is what she did. So obviously there are still some lingering issues to lead up to in season 5, which I'm anticipating the hunt for the founding fathers to be the focal point of that. And that was super cool that Dale dropped that little nugget. That is going to become super helpful for Trudy's team to help track for that. So kudos to that too. So very cool, guys. I'm very proud of how this ended. You guys did a really good job.
Yeah.
Also, how is Roosevelt one of the founding fathers?
Oh, that it was a throwaway name. They didn't know. That's why they were saying Hamilton and stuff like that. They have no idea. They're just like,
Okay.
it's one of these
Because they
things.
wear those
Yeah.
funky wigs.
Well, yeah, I wasn't sure if it was like they call themselves the founding fathers,
No.
but they're just running around and like whatever president is like.
No. Don't. Everybody was. Yeah, the whole point of the theme of the pack was that they are one of the founding fathers.
Yeah.
Okay.
I had to look at Henri's backstory. He was in New Orleans at one point, but he left New Orleans in 1967, so there was no crossover. He was there. He went from Baton Rouge to New Orleans between 1939 to 1967.
Was there like a big like anime sweat drop like going down your face when you heard New Orleans? You were like, I was in New Orleans. Uh-oh.
The main character, he's like, and I was in New Orleans, and I'm like, and then 1985. Well, it's okay. I was in San Francisco then.
Yeah.
Okay.
I did not kill your daughter. It's like,
Yeah.
All right, and so if there isn't any other questions, I know it's we've run late at this point. So I appreciate all the work you guys put into this. Dale, why don't you go ahead and give yourself 2 additional extra points for RP?
Yeah.
For that super cool end wrap. Basically he kind of was spitting some truths there that nobody really knew what was in Benjamin's bag there, and then poor Remus, he's like getting all kinds of family now. He's just like, oh, mi compadre, mi familia.
I think we're going to appreciate Benedict a lot more now because, well, he was also a pawn and a victim of Ekaterina.
He was still a jerk face.
He was still an asshole, yes.
He
I
was
100%
absolutely,
agree.
Yeah, he was 100% a jerk.
But he's been really freaking useful.
By canon, Benedict, if you look at the book, he actually wants like almost nothing to do with politics. He was sent to Vegas to become prince.
Wait, he's a canon NPC?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, so he was sent to Vegas basically just to get him out of the hair of the Camarilla. And so over half the time he holds court, he's not there. I mean, that's literally what it is. Like, and if he does go there, he'll go there in like a skin suit. Like he'll dominate some person and just hang out there, like in that body or something.
That's not what I was thinking about skin suit.
No. Yeah. He would just do it through domination or something, or he would just do it through proxies. Like he just wants nothing to do with it.
Well, frankly, that makes me appreciate him a little bit more.
So
and not be as apprehensive that he's inhabiting Remus's body in that sense. But I mean, obviously, I don't know that
right
in character.
But the irony there is that Ekaterina sent you guys there to whack him. The hope was that you guys ultimately got whacked or got weakened, to the point that retaliation wasn't going to be a thing.
Oh no, that just built our reputation. Not
only did it build your reputation, it sparked another anarch revolt, in North America. So in a way, that particular plan kind of
revolution.
Revolution.
Yeah, it sparked more than she anticipated, and because she's gone, other barriers have been dropped at this point because of her manipulations are obviously not there, and there's going to be some other pillars that are falling or other changes in the background because she's not there anymore.
That really makes me wonder. Like, I'm assuming Killian's the one that offed her.
Oh yeah, that was Killian.
100%, and the one that probably revived me.
Yes, that was Killian.
And so being that, I'm just curious how that's going to play out because he's Sabat. She was a bit an archbishop.
Yeah, he's an archbishop as well, but
he's
operating well outside his territory. So yeah, he's got a bunch of of his own drama that he's going to have to deal with. But this was a very, very personal matter for him because. On an out of character level that no one really realizes, for him it's a Romeo and Juliet sort of story with him and Latisse, and he stays away because he knows that can't cross,
can never be.
Yeah, but with his ability to scry, he was always able to keep an eye on her to some extent and ensure her safety. which became much more problematic when Ekaterina started stepping it up, which is why you guys started seeing him occasionally. Directly, not like, through a proxy or something. He would, the only way for him to deal with it, because he wasn't the proxy type of guy, he would show up directly and try and deal with it some way to thwart her or thwart the issue, which of course led to his own problems elsewhere. So lots of stuff going on in the background still.
I do have a question.
But lots of major players taken off the board.
Yeah. Can Remus learn how to throw a fireball?
Unfortunately, no. that is chi based, and vampires do not have chi.
Okay.
I can do something close to it,
What about
like a
thaumaturgy?
bonfire.
Damaris is doing bonfire. Thaumaturgy.
I'm gonna say, like,
Yes.
I can do something pretty dang close, so I don't have to throw it. I just have to.
Yep.
Well, it's more of like after being on the receiving end of that, like Remus is like, if I had something like that, I would feel much more potent in a fight, especially because he's got like now that he's like definitely in like stepping into like, okay, I have a family I need to protect kind of thing. Like, maybe it would be helpful to do a dragon punch, knock people into the air.
To be specific, he used improved fireball, which does 2 damage tests, which is lucky that you didn't get hit by that, because that's all ag, because it's chi based. He hits you with a flaming dragon punch, which basically channels chi into the dragon punch. And then when you struck him, he used a technique called Makawara, which if you abort your maneuver, it converts your stamina and your basically your blocking ability, and doubles your blocking ability. So you end up getting.
That sound familiar? Isn't that a Street Fighter thing?
Yes, those are all Street Fighter maneuvers. Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So, but like this guy is doing like Ryu fireballs with Ken Dragon Punch with like the parry system from Street Fighter 3. It's all over the place.
Because Zachary was meant for Henry. If the way it worked out, if Hate had not kidnapped the 2 minions, because when he realized there was a problem, he figured Henry was the weak link, because Henry was the one that was screwing around with bodies and didn't really get society, so he figured that would be the easiest weak link. So he nabbed them both to set up a trap, but a trap had already been sprung to take out Henry. Ekaterina wanted to wipe him out. Zach was the failsafe. If for some reason the blast hadn't worked, Zach was going to wipe the walls with Henry.
I can't remember. Did Henri hire Zach after Henri had like spurned Ekaterina's group?
Nope.
Okay, so it's even before then.
Yep.
Okay.
She like I said, she's with the sleeper agent she had with Latisse. Both of those were over 100 years old. So when I say she plays the long game, she plays the long game.
Yeah, she does.
Andrew was a sleeper agent.
There you go. Andrew was a sleeper agent.
Oh my gosh. And he's been with her so long.
Yep.
Oh man.
Who's Andrew? I don't know that.
Andrew is her ghoul.
Latisse's ghoul.
Yep.
Yeah, he I don't know if you'll ever hear this story. So basically what she told Trudy was that she got a call from Killian. Latisse doesn't know that Trudy knows Killian. So that's
Latisse doesn't know a lot of things.
yes, this is true. But she got
unfortunately
a call from
she's been a pawn like this whole time, and Killian's tried to do his best to keep her out of it, and it's
shield her.
Yeah, it's been almost impossible.
I don't think we should tell her either.
I agree. For reasons you don't know.
What she don't know is not going to hurt her in this case.
But so Latisse told Trudy she got a phone call from Killian and or a text. Anyway, Killian contacted her and basically said to watch out, or that she was in danger or something. And then, like, I think he was on the phone with her when Andrew like pulled a knife and tried to stab her. And then the founders rushed in and like tried to take her away.
Really?
But Latisse ended up killing Andrew to defend herself. So
Wow.
she's gonna need therapy.
It's a good thing you guys have got one in town.
I know a guy.
Yeah.
He's
I
going to
think
get a
y'all-
lot
y'all
of business
probably
real
need
soon.
therapy.
which I should also state is also a canon character.
Oh, I
Who?
thought you were about to say that
Really?
he's another Manchurian candidate. and then I was
No,
gonna be like,
no, he is also. I'll go ahead and volunteer this one because there's so much plot that's out there that sometimes I've been sitting on. I was like, oh, if you guys find out, it'd be so cool.
yeah, I don't read
Sometimes
the.
we're oblivious.
No, and that's fine. He is a canon character from the book Alien Hunger. It was Alien Hunger. It was a first edition book. His name is not Jacob Prester. He had to go by an assumed name, like many people do when they get embraced. His real name is Louis Pasteur.
Louis Pasteur?
Like his
Yep.
Louis Pasteur.
Yes.
Wow.
Recognize that name.
He's the inventor of vaccines and like he
Pasteurization.
yeah,
Yeah. Yep.
he's the inventor of pasteurization.
Oh,
It's like an actual historical.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
he was not even a canon NPC. He was a real person. That
He's
like,
both.
in real life.
He's both.
Okay.
If you
Yeah.
pick up the book, he ended up coming to Colorado or to Denver, Colorado, initially trying to thwart, like basically a vampire got a hold of him and and kind of explained the whole vampirism thing, and he was looking for a cure.
Oh.
And so he was working with this vampire to try and find a cure for vampirism. But as he was getting old, he ended up having like a stroke or something like that, and he was almost going to die. And so rather than die, he injected himself with the serum from that vampire vitae that he had, which turned him into a caitiff. And he's been working ever since to try and find a cure for vampirism. The only thing I altered to the story, because when you played the actual adventure Alien Hunger, he dies at the very beginning. He basically the prince, or the person that one of the main villains in that particular adventure has been manipulating the prince and trying to track him down to kill him. And so at the beginning of the adventure, Louis Pasteur has made basically all of you as characters. That's your origin story, is that he randomly made all these people to try and defend him and make like a coterie, but he ends up getting killed before everybody becomes the vampire selves.
So we're just totally like mad dogging the dude that we can thank for all of this delicious milk and other stuff. Remus is like 18 years old.
I forget how young Remus is. Like, I really do sometimes.
Yeah. I drew like a picture of him, like kind of like how I see him recently, and I was thinking about that too. I was like, yeah, no, he's still like
a kid.
Even still, like mentally, he's still like a like developmentally, he's a kid.
Man.
Yeah,
he's grown a lot, honestly. I think.
Yeah, no kidding.
As a character, and from where we found him homeless to where he's at now, wandering Lithia Park.
Oh,
before Adam got to him.
Yeah, you should do motivational tapes.
Yeah, for real. You've come a long way, I think.
He still doesn't know anything. It's great.
It's his first day.
Oh, nice picture. Nice update.
Thank you.
So yeah,
I gotta get going.
Yeah, I was
I'm,
going to say we're
way
going to go ahead and
past
call here, but
what I meant to go.
yeah, no, I get it. I just wanted to share some of that little bit. I had been talking to Brittany. I was like, I thought it would be kind of cool, like they do it at the end of some of the Critical Role campaigns, that they talk about some of the things that happened and
Actually
storyline
like that
stuff.
a lot. Like this is helpful to help get a better understanding of what the fuck just happened during that
Yeah.
episode.
Well, I also figured this
yeah.
would be good because we've had 4 seasons of game. A lot of stuff has changed up to this point, and a lot of stuff is wrapped. So I thought it would be a good idea to give you guys
Little end cap.
some info to let you know kind of what was going on, stuff behind the scenes and whatnot. So
Yeah, and yeah, we have definitely some holes to fill, like in that we need like influences in medical and police and all this other stuff. Like we are desperately missing. So yeah, so that's on the list for season 5. I need to reevaluate some of the ghouls that I have and kind of let some go to make room for others.
I can actually reach out to my contact in the police to see if there's any like missing kids being called in.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Write that down.
I think I have a police influence too, so like we should pool stuff.
Sophie has
where we at for spending experience too.
For them.
What's that?
Yeah.
Where we at for spending experience right now?
We'll be able to spend experience
because we're between seasons, so.
But the next game is probably going to well.
You can just spend them anytime.
Let me think about that. Well, because we let me think about that. If I put in a time lapse, which I'm thinking about doing, then we can just dump XP and you can boost up whatever because it obviously happened during that time lapse.
All right.
Right.
This would be a good opportunity for a time lapse too.
I may or may not be at the next game. I may be at a convention, but I may have the night free.
What convention?
It's not a convention. It's a writing conference.
Oh,
basically.
okay.
Oh. But it depends on what COVID looks like, whether I go to that or not.
Gotcha. Okay.
Well, I am definitely here.
All right.
Bye, y'all.
Okay, well, good night, guys. Thanks for the game.